Hello. This feels so weird. I haven't been live in 2 weeks. I hope everything's okay because 2 weeks off stream is a lot. 2 weeks makes it feel like I've never streamed in my life. So this is gonna be kind of like a learning curve all over again. Also, I have played Loftia before, but it was a long time ago. So gonna be learning everything all over again. But I am super excited for this. I've been waiting for this day for so long. For everyone to actually be able to play the game. Not everyone, obviously, but people to actually see the game. Not just a trailer or like a little snippet, but actually see the full thing. I'm so excited. This is like when Palea came out all over again. The excitement is like, oh my god. But yeah, I'm back. I think before we do anything today, though, I just want to kind of talk a little bit. I do have a giveaway that I'm doing in just a minute. If you haven't already, in fact, before we start speaking, I will paste the giveaway in the chat if anyone wants to do that while we're yapping a little bit for a couple minutes. And then I'll draw that very soon. But yeah, I haven't streamed in a couple of weeks because I came to a realization that I am better streaming when I'm able and when I really want to, instead of having a schedule. 2 days a week just wasn't cutting it for me. It was either stream 2 days a week or just don't stream. And I was like, no, I want to stream when I want to stream, and I want to stream for however long I want to stream. So we don't have a schedule right now. There's no schedule, but I am going to be streaming a lot of Loftia for this next couple of weeks because we do, I think, have about 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks for this this beta test. So I'm going to be streaming as much as I can. And then we have the new Palea update. So we have plenty of stuff to do. So rest assured, I will be live. I will be live. I will not just be going away for 2 weeks after this. Don't worry. But yeah, I kind of came to a decision of I had a couple of weeks from my last stream until Loftia's beta. And I was like, I'm just going to take however long I want. I'm so sorry. You guys hear me? That should be good. I had my audio through my speakers. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. You just made me realize that I didn't have my audio right. Hopefully my mic's okay. I hear you. Okay, thank you. It's been too long. It's been too long. I forget things. But yeah, I basically took like a couple of weeks to just like decide what I wanted to do. I was uploading on socials daily, which was like fine. It wasn't a lot of effort, but it was just a bit too much. It was a bit too much. I felt too much pressure. So I stopped. I'll post when I feel like I want to post on there, and I'll just stream when we feel like it. It makes the vibes a lot better, I think. But we have a lot to go through today. I don't know how long I'll be live. I just decided we'll go live as long as I possibly can. I made sure to just get up this morning, eat, and then go live. So we've not long eaten, so my blood sugar should be good. But I have had a couple of problems the last like 2 days with my health, so I don't know what's going on with that. As long as I don't stand up, we're okay, right? Because my heart rate can't spike, so we're good. But I think how long have I been live there now? 4 minutes. Okay. So I have a giveaway that I'm gonna pull a winner for. I've never done this before, and it's a little scary because I don't really know how it works, but I have a website that picks a winner from the tweet in the chat that I posted. If you retweeted the tweet and you follow me, those are like the like terms of it. So as long as you followed me and retweeted that tweet, you have the chance. I haven't done anything in particular. It's like, if you did this too, you get an extra chance. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Lofty were just like, here, have a beta key to give away. And I was like, because I've never had that kind of an opportunity before. So I think maybe we should do it now. Should we do it now before we get into the game? Because I know once we get into the game, I'm going to be distracted. Guys, I got 30 hours. I already have 30 hours in Loftia from one weekend of alpha. In the last alpha, I played for 30 hours straight. Not straight. Not 30 hours straight. I played for like somewhere between 10 to 15 hours at one point, and it was bad. Played from like 8 a.m. until like God knows what time. So you already know I'm going to be kind of addicted to it again. Especially now I've seen some people that have been streaming, and I went in their stream quickly because I didn't want to like spoil my vibes for coming on stream. But oh my god, the game looks even better than it did in alpha. So that's all I can say, but it looks so good. Hi, I found you through the Loftia Squad. Hello, welcome in. We are just about to pull a beta key. I'm going to do it in just a second. I will paste that in the chat in case anyone else wants to do it really quick. Hello, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. I'm sorry if anything on the stream is kind of a mess, or if anything's not where it should be, or if audio's wrong. I haven't streamed in 2 weeks. And I updated, I took my PC in for an BIOS update because I needed it for something. And I've updated OBS and it's freaking out a little bit inside. I'd have X and I'd go, look, everyone. Oh, see, if I'd have had more than one, I would have done one on pretty much like all socials. But I only had one and I was a little bit like indecisive of how to do it. So I just decided to do it on I call it Twitter, but obviously it's X, but yeah. I do believe I could. Do I get another one to give away to anyone, or is it like a friends one? I'm not too sure, as long as we get to a certain point in the game, but there are a bunch of people doing them as well. If you don't have X, you could go through, I think, Twitter, or not Twitter, sorry, it's the same thing. You could go through other social media like Instagram as well, and there are people streaming that are doing giveaways as well for a code. Twitter for life. Yeah, literally. I was one of the people that was on Twitter the minute it became a thing, so I'm sticking by Twitter. I'll give it till 15 minutes past, and then I'm gonna do the giveaway because this is panicking me more than anything else. I don't want to do it wrong. Let me see if I get it up on the monitor. This is so funny to me. When you don't stream for a while, it feels so funny. There it is. Here it is. Let me pause the video because it's going to be playing again and again. But yeah, this is the giveaway. So I just said follow and repost. Okay. Because I have this. I don't know how good this website is, but it's the first one that came up. So I apologize. We'll pull this in just a second, and oh, we'll do it now. We'll do it now. Okay. And then I'll message the winner. Okay, retweet. And then follow me, right? Did I do that? Yeah, follow one, follow account one. Okay, I think this is correct, so I'm gonna do it. And I don't know how this works. We have a winner. Wait, I think this person, did this person do it this morning? Let me get this up on, I think it's me. It's you? Really? Wait, I think I saw your name. I'm pretty sure I saw your name. That's so cool. Let me message you on X. I need to give you the code and the link to do it on. Copy the link. I just don't want to do it on... Yeah, there you are. I don't want to do it on stream in case I leak anything. I'm not too sure. But this is the link. And this is the code. Copied. I think I should have gone through. Let me know if it didn't come through or if you have any struggles. I think if the code isn't working, I could either I could message someone in the creator Discord that I'm in, the partner Discord, or we could see if someone, like one of the mods, could help. I do know some people have had problems. I hope you're not one of those. I hope the code just works for you, because I would be a little bit frustrated, but congrats. I hope you have fun. I know I'm gonna have fun. So if you see me walking around at all, say hi. I'll wait for you to reply and then we'll see I've never used the new... Oh, you're typing. There we go. There we go. This actually makes it a lot easier for me that you're in chat. Thank you. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let me know if it works. If it doesn't, we can try and figure it out. But hopefully it does. Hopefully it does. I do know that some people have put the code in and they're like, help, it doesn't exist. And I'm like, how? That would be really, really annoying. But hopefully that doesn't happen on here. And I only have one DM on X because I've not really used Twitter like that. On X and Twitter. We're just gonna call it Twitter, okay? I haven't really used Twitter like that since I made it, so I've used a different account. So all I have is a DM to myself, so I won't lose your message. But do let me know if it doesn't work, and we'll try and figure it out. Let me close this and actually get Loftia up. I am scared in the sense that one, I haven't opened the game since they updated the alpha to beta, and two, obviously I just haven't played. I haven't played in a while, so I'm gonna forget everything. So if you guys are new to Loftia, then so am I. So am I, basically. I'm basically the exact same. Game Loftia. Is that correct? Yes, I got it. Okay. First things first. So I have 2 accounts for Loftia, which is just so confusing, but I did get a message back this morning telling me that they can fix this for me. So I'm a Kickstarter backer, so I backed the game when it was in development originally, like years ago, I think now. But I'm also a Loftia Partner now, so I have 2 separate accounts, but they just reassured me that they can, like, merge my account in the future. So we're all good on that part. We're all good on that part, but, like, surely you should be playing Loftia in a loft. I don't even... Is a loft the same thing as an attic? Because even if I had an attic, I have an attic, but it's closed. We can't even go up. We can't even go up into the attic. It's locked. I'm pretty sure we have birds that come in and out of the roof, so don't think everyone would be up there. Loft is an attic? Yeah. So, yeah, we wouldn't be playing it up there. We are not playing in my attic. It would not happen, chat. But hello. I'm just switching my watch over to my other hand so we can play properly. I would take this off, but my heart rate, guys, not been good. It's not been good. What a letdown. I'm sorry. El Creator, I know. Okay. Before we do anything, I do just want to make sure that this is okay, because I want the gameplay to be good. I don't want to be like every 2 seconds like, ugh, the game's not playing very well. You know, that sucks. We don't like that. So we just want to make sure everything's okay before we go in. No more Prime subs for you. Damn. Damn, maybe I should have been in an attic. I'm sorry. Borderless or full screen? And do we have any other stuff, or is it just gonna be... Oh, here we go. Let's put that down to like medium. Before we do anything that I'm gonna regret. Focus check. Oh my god, okay, so a little bit of a story. My bottle that I normally drink out of, the cute floral one, the straw has mold on it, and I think the lid also has mold on it. So I'm drinking out of this bowl. I put juice in a water bottle that I bought like 2 days ago, and I just keep washing it because I don't have any other bottle. So this is my hydrate. But it's still electrolytes, so we're good. We're good. Okay, I think we can keep those settings for now. I think we're good. Audio, if you don't, there we go. It's still set to everything I had it to. So if you don't know me very well, I don't really have music on in game sometimes just because it can be a little bit too much. But it also doesn't help if any volume goes down or anything when there's a down moment on stream and I stop talking. But I do think the music in this game would be really nice to hear. So I will pause my music and turn the volume up a little bit. But it's like 50 in C. I do know there's a little bit of a problem right now with the audio in game where the music is cutting in and out at like, not cutting in and out, but it basically doesn't play at certain points in the game. But the person that actually did make music for Loftia has said that it was intended. So they may fix that, they may change it, but it was originally intended to do that. The code worked, downloading. Yes, thank you for letting me know. I can close the message. I hope you have fun. And I hope the game treats you well. If you see me, I should be on EU servers. I don't know what server you'll be playing on. But if you're on EU servers, then come say hi. My name should be the same as my Twitch. Unless someone's taken it. We'll see. There's such a real struggle with the water bottles and straw mold. I have had that water bottle for, it's like a big Stanley tumbler type thing. Not an actual Stanley, but you know what I mean. And it's genuinely, I've had it for so long. And the straw just like, it started having like this stuff in it. And I was like, that can't be mold. It's not black. Now it's black mold. And the rim that keeps the water from coming out when you like drink out of it, if you like tip it, it's gone mold. So not great. Not great. Is this the correct audio? Okay, let's just... No one took my name. No one took my name. Great. I think my old account... I don't know if this is the same account or not. And this might be the same account because they basically did a wipe the last test I did. So maybe it's the same account. But I'm pretty sure I used my actual name, not just like my username, but... Okay. Let's see how long it takes. I know some people have been having a little bit of a struggle getting in, but we might be okay. It was peak time last night when the game came out, so I know that there's probably a lot of people that have had like really long wait times to get in, but hopefully we won't have that. I think we're going. Didn't take long. Did not take long. Okay, so this is one of those things where like when I originally played alpha, obviously like through stages of development with games, things get better. This is crazy. Look how pretty this is. It looks so good. So we might spend a little bit of time in this, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how much there is. I haven't seen too much. And I don't want to bore you guys, but we have some new hair and outfit stuff, so I can't help it. I can't help it. Let's start with eyes. Okay. I've seen the eyes. I think that's the only thing I let myself see, and I saw someone's hair on their character. Can we just do this quickly? No. I made an oopsie already. Guys. I was like, can I turn the music down a little bit? Just a little bit. I should have known this was gonna happen. Yay, I'm a default skin. This is very loud. We'll see in a second. We'll see. Let's give it a minute. This is so cute. Let's see. Please let me change my character. I want the cute hair. It's been on my wishlist for a long... Yeah. No, same. This was on my wishlist. I started following Loftia's development from their first TikTok video. That's how long I've been following this development for. Like, the fact that you guys can actually see it now makes me so happy. Okay, we're gonna go through the dialogue and see if I can get to a point where I can change my character. If not, I think I can log out of this account and log into my creator one instead and use that, because I don't want to walk around like this. He's cute, but I don't want to be him. I want to be me. Okay. Whoa now, that was an artistic landing. Good thing I was here to break your fall. Look how cute. Look at him. I need him. I need him as a plush. And if they don't do that, I will riot. I will riot. Are you okay? Nothing broken? Only my pride. Pride? Oh, lost mine years ago and I'm doing just fine. Same. Same. Pebble gets it. Anyway, welcome to Loftia. You'll love it here. I know I will. So tell me, why'd you come to Loftia? The people, the islands, I'm not sure. The people. I totally get it. Loftians are the best and we usually have snacks, which is a total plus. And what's the place you came from like? Chill, messy, normal, messy. Well, I'd be lying if I said we didn't have a little bit of that in common. Well, you're in Loftia now. Everyone here is welcome, no matter where they come from. And guess who's in charge of making you feel at home? Is it Pebble? Yes! Get ready for ultimate DIY life. Crafting and self-expression are the heart of Loftia. Well, a big part of the heart at least. Really should talk to Milo. He's our master of tinkering and he's got a present for you. First things first. First things first. I want it like so I can hear myself. I want the music on, but like background. There we go. Okay, so I know we can edit our character, but can we actually edit my character? Oh, please. I think we've been saved. I think we've been saved. I think we're okay. We just do things in like a different order, you know? That's what we do around here anyway, so it's fine. It's fine. Like we just don't do things in the right order anyway. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the face then. Hopefully it lets me change everything, because if I don't have a cute outfit, that's going to be the first thing we do. We're going to be going through quests as quick as possible so I can have a cute outfit, because outfit it matters, okay? So we have a lot of stuff in this game. I know they've been working on doing, oh my god, girly pop. Girly pop? These names. Wait, why is it going back? Can I change them? Yeah, okay. It's just like glitching a little bit. So I know they've been working on a lot of character customization things since like I think the alpha. So it's been quite a while and they've changed a lot. There are so many new hairstyles and so many new things. Like it's so cute. It's no, it is just defaulting back to it. It doesn't mean it's actually changed back. It's okay. So I want something cute. The girly pop's cute, but I like the lashes. Oh, see, the music. It's gone quiet, but it's okay. It's okay, we'll work with it. I've seen some really cute characters though. Some people have made some of the cutest characters. I think we need to turn the volume up a little bit. Like the general volume. I think the volume itself's a little quiet. But we'll see. Once we start like walking around and bonking everyone on the head with a hammer, then we'll know. That's where it gets cute. Maybe these ones. Maybe I do those ones. Can I do colors? Yes! Finally. One of my biggest pet peeves is when they give us green eyes and it's just like dark green and I have no option of what color I use. Thank you, Loftia. Okay, pupil size. Damn, they got everything. Oh, stop. Okay. I think we do the little stars. I think I can make it bigger. This is so cute. This is so cute. Okay, eyebrows. Oh, that just changed everything. Okay. I'm gonna keep these for now. And then we're gonna look at the... Oh. Oh, this is like... Oh, I can look at the back of the head. I don't know if anyone else is like as happy about that as me, but like for some reason when games give you character customization, but I can't see what the back of the hair looks like. Just like, no. You know? Just why? Why is it a thing? Okay, I think its nose is fine though. I don't think I really want to change it. Although, wait, that's super cute. Wait, that's super cute. I think we might go with that one. Look at the cute little button nose. Oh, I'm gonna be obsessed. It's gonna take me about 10 minutes, maybe 15 to actually get this finished. But once we get into it, the one thing I did so much of the last time I played was just collect a bunch of stuff. I just ran around like a madhead collecting things. I had no idea what I was doing. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, maybe I should actually do some of the story. I don't know what smile to... Maybe we do that. Do we do this? Maybe? What do these look like? I don't want to be permanently shocked. Wait. Like, permanently, like, looks a little... I don't know if I like that. I don't know. I think maybe we do that, but we change our eyebrows because they look a little sad. I feel like I look sad. Maybe we try those. Jaw shit. Wait, we can change the jaw? Hello? I didn't expect any of this going into this at all. Although I do kind of like the really like default round head. It gives like a doll vibe. What's this? Maybe we do that and we leave it as is. Oh, we have... Wait, do we have moles? Do we have the double mole? Because that would be super cute. I do kind of like this one. Maybe. Wait, we can change the color and the tone of everything. Let's see, do we have... Okay, so we don't have a mole. Damn it! I hope the camera really picks up on it, but I have like 2 moles here and I have one under my eye as well. And every time I do a character customization that has a mole, they only have moles on this side. There's only moles on this side, and for some reason they just don't put them on my side. I'm gonna have to advocate for that. We need moles. Sorry, we need them. Oh, although I did see that we even have a height thing in this. Like, we can literally change the height of your character. I don't know why I didn't expect that. For some reason, I just didn't expect this. Like, what do you mean I can be, like, tiny or tall? I just expected everyone to be the same size. I kind of want to be cute and little, though. Like, I'm probably around here in real life, but I want to be, like, down there. But we can also change our head. Like, what do you mean? I can walk around like it's April Fool's in Palia. But I kind of just like want to keep that normal. We have width of shoulders and everything. Look at that. Oh my. Okay. Oh, wait, this is so cool. You don't really have things like this in many games like this. I don't know any game that I'm currently playing that has like body adjustment, which I think a lot of them need it. This is cool. I like this. I'm gonna keep mine in the middle, but cute. Okay. also such a cool thing is that they're adding so many things into the game that a lot of games are missing, and I love that. It's already cool enough that we have like height and like facial stuff in general, or we have like wrinkles, but then they put other stuff in there too. Like they're killing it. They're killing it. However, we do have to be very pale. As much as we're going to be down here, look at this. Oh my god, wait, there's blush. Hang on. I didn't realize I had blush. Look at this. Look at this range. Some people could take notes on that. So good. I love it. Okay. This is where I become obsessed. Oh my god. There's so many. There's so many. They have been working overtime. What do you mean? Okay, we have the shorter hairstyles. My god, everyone! They've got something for everyone in this. This is great. Like, we have, like the one thing I really like in games is when I can have really long hair. So usually this is, like, the standard. Like, there's not really anything else. But we have more. We have more. How long is that? Perfect. But there's more. There's even more. This is crazy. The bunches. Oh, stop. But like, come on. Come on. How cute. Oh, stop. Stop. There's so many. What game goes into beta? This game isn't even... We can only play this game for 2 weeks. It's a closed beta. And we have all of this. What else have we got that we've been working on? What else have we been working on that I don't know about yet? I skipped some. Oh my god. Stop. I hope we can change our outfit, because if I could change my outfit, that's going to be another problem. There's just so many. It just doesn't end. Wait, she cute. Oh. We even have like... What? I feel like they're just so far ahead of everyone, and the game isn't even available yet. Like, isn't that kind of crazy? Like, this is insane. Hello? I'm actually... This is the last few, but... Wait, what? That's so cute. It looks like a little, like... It's like a cat hair. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna stop obsessing, and we're gonna pick the one I know I want, because it's the one that I saw online. Like, everyone else is probably gonna walk around with the same hair. I feel like it's gonna be this one. And then probably this one. I can just feel it. Okay, we want to change the hair color though. I want to go... Oh, this is going to be a journey. Oh. Almost. Hang on. Right? Like, I love when we have color sliders. That makes it so much better for me. When like when you only have like 5 colors, it just makes things... It annoys me. I'm like, I just want to pick like a cute hair color, like actually goes with my hair color. Obviously, I'm not going to do any facial hair, but like, they got it all. Look at that. They got like Viking beards. Wait. Oh, here's the makeup. So we have no makeup, and then we have blush. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We have cute blush. Okay, so we can either do eye makeup or face makeup. But I don't think I care about anything else when you're gonna give me cute little love hearts. You're gonna give me cute little love hearts on my cheeks? I'll take it. I'll make them a little bit lighter though, so they're not intense. Now's the worst part because I know there's only 5 hats. But obviously we can unlock more, but I know I already have this, even though I can't use it because it's a part of my like Kickstarter thing. But I think we unlock that somehow. Tops. And I saw, okay, so we can change hair colors, but we can also change outfit colors. We can change the color of everything. Okay, I've seen everyone wearing this. So I already know what we're going to wear when we get to this point, because there is a point where I can wear a mushroom outfit. And let's just be real. I think we're going to be wearing a mushroom outfit, but this is so cute. These are so cute. Oh, we have a dress? I remember this dress. But we have a dress. It might have to be this though. Let's see what bottoms we have. Wait, I'm going to assume that this is going to be a setting in the character creation at some point, maybe. Instead of it being like with an outfit choice, I'm going to assume that they'll probably put it with like, so you can wear it with shorts and stuff too. I would assume. Oh, I keep forgetting we can change the color of skirts. Okay. Oh. She's so cute. She's so cute. Hello? Because I don't like the color of the pink, but the blue, like denim. I'm sold. I'm sold. This is too cute. What shoes we got? Ah. Can I zoom out? Can I zoom out? Wait, what? What have I done? I broke the game. Okay, there we go. That was a bit of a concern for a second. Do we have... Okay, there's just face accessories. Okay. Can I put these... like a... Ooh, wait. Yeah, we can. Okay, let's do like... Would you like that? Let's go back up to the top so we can see the full thing. Is she cute? We have glasses. Now, I'm probably not going to wear glasses just because I don't put glasses on my characters. But we do have eye patches. Yeah, no, I'm not going to put glasses on. I don't think I'm going to put glasses on. But I think we'll leave the character like that now. Do we just leave? I was going to say, if we don't have, we actually have to do something before we leave, and I leave, and the entirety of my character is changed. So this goes out to everyone out there that accidentally kind of sort of didn't do their character creation at the beginning of the game. You can do it when you enter the game. You're saved. You're okay. Hi, friend. Thank you for the look. I appreciate it. We're going to get into the game now. Okay. So I don't believe this thing is actually in the game yet, but I did just see it on, I think, Oakling's stream. But I don't think it's actually in the game yet. So as Loftia continues to grow, we're so grateful to be building this world alongside everyone in our community. Behind the floating islands is a passionate team of artists, engineers, designers, and helpers who deeply care about making Loftia a place people can truly call home. Like many live service games, Loftia relies on ongoing support to continue delivering new content and experiences. The Community Pass is one of the ways players can choose to contribute to Loftia's development. Okay, so it's one of those things where, like, you don't have to, but you could. So I'm assuming it's going to be like a battle pass. Helping us expand the world, create new stories, and back our growing team so we can keep building Loftia for years to come. The Community Pass unlocks additional cosmetic rewards for those who'd like to support the journey and won't include pay to win or gameplay advantages. Okay. So Oh, they're giving us a sneak peek into it though. Hang on. Just letting you know I'm hearing the waiting room. In the waiting room? Oh, okay. Everything goes okay. I will be thinking about you the whole time. Someone is stood in front of my character and I can't see. Hi, blue person. Hi, blue person. I'm gonna have to move out of the way. There we go. Okay, so this hair does not work. The hair doesn't work with this hat. But the hat is so cute. Adorable. Adorable. Adorable! The slippers with the smiley faces on them. Stop. We have stage 2s. We have stages. Okay, so this head is currently not, I don't think, made to go under a hat yet. Okay, I like the first one a little bit more, but I like the shoes in this one. Oh, and we can't look at this one yet. But it's a bat outfit. It's a bat outfit. We can't click on it, but it has a cape and it has a hat. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I'm gonna send you a love heart because I don't know if you can hear me if you're in the waiting room. Any froggy friends out there? Are there any froggy friends out there? I already know like 2 people that were freaking out about this. Are you kidding me? A frog hat, a frog onesie, and frog slides. Okay, we're going to be wearing this when this is available. It says it's available in 98 days, which means... Does that mean anything? Does that mean anything? Does that mean... Loftia, are we teasing a release date? Hang on a second. This says 98 days. I'm just saying, I don't know enough. Just because I'm a partner doesn't mean I know anything. Because that is making me think. What day is 98 days from now? 98 days from today is the 30th of July. The 30th of July. Is that a placeholder? I'm going to assume it's a placeholder. Anyway, we have a froggy outfit soon, which is like the most exciting thing ever. So let's play the game. Let's see. In fact, hang on. I saw something about the fact that we apparently have voice chat. I didn't know this was going to be a thing. I had no idea. We were supposed to have voice chat. So I don't know what that is. Can other people hear me talking? Can other people hear me talking? I have it turned on. It's the wrong input, so that's good. But I'm a little bit scared. I don't want people... Do you use OBS? Do you know advanced broadcast? I use OBS. But I don't know what enhanced broadcast is. Wait, you can hear me in game? Could you hear me in game the whole time? Or just on stream? Because if people could hear me in game the whole time I was talking, that's a little awkward. That's a little awkward. Yeah, I don't know what enhanced broadcast is. But I've used OBS since about 2020, I think. That's the correct output. Can you guys hear the game? Master volume up. And put that up. Yeah, something's a little bit quiet. Oh, I didn't save it, that's why. Special effects. That's a little better. May I offer multiple resources to viewers your hardware. Oh. I've never heard of that. I've used OBS for a long time, but I've never actually heard of it. Which is really weird. But I've been using OBS since about 2020. I think maybe we should change this to... I hate that the word's so long I actually can't even read what it's on. Is that my correct thing? I think this is the correct one. Oh, I think you tried to send a link, but my chat has links turned off. So it won't actually come through. Let me turn all these up. I want to make sure you guys can actually hear the game. I think you guys can. But before we start playing, I just want to double check. Like... Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Also okay. I just want to make sure you guys could actually hear the things I was doing. Because that would suck if I upload this to, imagine I upload this to YouTube, like, I don't know, at some point this week, and it's like, there's no audio, all I can hear is you talking. Okay. So we're actually in game now. There are so many people. There are so many people. Oh, Victoria Sponge! Wait! What? Must be fun. Like, I always think about when I see the people that just pick like the most random names ever, I'm like, man. Victoria Sponge Cake. That's so cute. Okay, here's Milo. Oh. Can't believe that wrench is missing again. Does he just lose everything? Is he one of those characters? Hey, I didn't see you there. Your cozy cat. Cozy Case. It's Case. I keep calling myself Cass because everyone else calls me Cass. Pebble mentioned you. He seems enthusiastic. Yep, that's Pebble. If enthusiasm. Is that how you say that? Enthusiasm with fuel. You could power Loftia Sea. I'm Milo. I mostly build stuff, fix stuff, and turn old junk into stuff. Welcome to my scrapyard. So Pebble said you might need a hand getting settled, right? Well, count on me. But you kind of caught me in the middle of a junk duty. Look, how about a hand of all this scrap? I'll prepare a very important thing for you in the meantime. A very important thing. It's a little bit subtle. Let's say you go and salvage 5 screws and 5 plastic discards. You'll find plenty in the scrap quarter just over there. Take your time, the junk's not going anywhere. Nice to know. But I should know how to do this. Oh wait, is it in his, is it in here or is it not? No, okay. I think we just follow the arrow. Like I say, obviously I played alpha, but we've had a big upgrade. This does not look anything like I remember it, so I'm learning all over again with everyone else. I can't actually hit anything yet. They don't have a hammer. So we gotta go run around and just pick up the stuff that we can pick up. Oh. I cannot pick that one up. That's weird. Oh. What just happened? What did I just do? Did I just time travel or am I going crazy? I went here and it like knocked me over there. Oh, this is so weird. Look at the UI. Wait, it tells you everything. This is crazy. This looks so good. I'm gonna keep saying that because Seeing a game develop from the very beginning is crazy. This is like the first time I've truly seen it all. We need one more screw. That's not going to give me a screw. That might. No. Yeah, it did. Yes. Okay. Oh, I've been so used to playing games with mobility that I just try to like get a skateboard out or like a car or something. Okay. How was it? I'm scavenging pro now. I had to look around a bit. It was soothing. I had to look around a little bit. No worries, soon enough you'll be able to spot the treasure from a mile away. You know Loftia attracts a lot of junk from before the uplift. Part of what I do is break it down and salvage the usable parts. Knowing where to find these resources is going to be your number one hack for living your new DIY life to the fullest. Now you'll just need one more thing before you head off on your own island. Swing by the construction site and grab some clay. You'll find it in a neat little pile. Okay. Okay. I don't remember where anything is. Like, I played the alpha, I know everything. That's how I was going into this, and I realized, like, no, I don't think I do. I don't think I remember anything. Okay. Oh, I have it all already. Okay. I thought I was gonna need, like, 20 of it. Hang, where are 90... I do keep getting TP'd. I wonder why. Is that like a common problem? I am also on like 100 ping. And I'm not really too sure why. Oh, I'm on Frankfurt. Oh, okay. Okay, Frankfurt's the closest to me right now. Just a little bit annoying, but it's fine because I played on like way more ping than that the last time I played, so I'm not gonna complain. But I think that might be what's happening. I might be having a little bit of like rubber banding going on, which sucks. Definitely sucks. But it's okay. I've experienced way worse before. Also, ads are gonna begin in about 2 minutes. But I cannot... Ooh, 300 ping. Ooh, we'll work with it. But yeah, I can't really do anything about it. I play 3 minutes of ads for an hour. I'm so sorry. But I will be here for a while, so don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. And we're playing relatively slow. So. I knew you could do it. Hard to navigate the place? Nah. The construction site has been in progress forever. Might never see it finished, but it's spot to find scrap wood and clay. Anyway, while you were out there, I finished configuring your project station. A station in hand, pockets littered with scrap, and a brain full of wild ideas. That's basically how we move around here. Welcome home? What just happened? What just happened? Don't mind that shaking, it's normal. I don't think it is. Anyway, you should head over to see Pebble now. He's been itching to take you to the neighborhood island. Yay! Time to go home. We have rain. Love me some rain. I absolutely love rain in games. The atmosphere. How'd you go with Milo? Kind of fun. Right? Picking up trash is my top 3 Loftia activities. Oh, it happened again. Seems Loftia has the giggles, huh? Don't let it worry you, okay? Everything's fine. Perfectly fine. I think me and Pebble might be a little bit too much alike. I think we might be too similar. That's like my perfect, like, saying of, like, whenever something's not okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. So now you've got yourself... He's just gonna carry on. Now you've got yourself your project station, how about we hurry up to visit the neighborhood island? That's where your house is. All you have to do is go and catch a ride on the balloon in the middle of the dome. I don't want to leave yet. It's raining. But it's like sunny rain. I almost want to turn the volumes up more. Like, you know? Oh god, 50. Thank you. Listen to that. That sounds so perfect. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's go home. Let's go see my house. Get me a hammer. I did a lot of, I expect to be doing quite a lot of the same stuff I did in the alpha because I found myself picking up just like everything. At one point, I would go around just smashing everything with a hammer and pick up a bunch of mushrooms and go sell a bunch of stuff so that I can make a cute outfit. That was my one thing I wanted to do, was have the cute mushroom outfit. Like, nothing mattered more than the mushroom. Oh, I love the rain so much. I love the rain. Way home. Where did Pebble go? There we are. Here it is. Home sweet home. Oh, you might find some junk around your place. Truth is, things are a little bumpy right now, and the trash piles have started popping up all over Loftia. But here, that's a problem for futurists. Why don't you head over to your house and plop down your project station? Maybe bed to make yourself feel at home. Okay, so I know we just turned that up. But holy, it's a little loud. Okay, I need to plop down my project station and place a bed inside my home. How do I do that? B. Wait, we can put you... Okay, we can't actually put it there. Let's try and put everything where I had it in the alpha, and then I'll remember then. That will definitely make things feel a little bit better. Because I kind of remember what I did in the alpha. So if we can try and mimic it, it'll make it feel like I never stopped playing. Okay. Let's see. Now what? Okay. Go talk to Pebble. Now that you're settled in, how about we do something about all this debris? I'll help, but my paws aren't exactly built for that kind of work, or any kind of work, really. But wait, you can actually craft something way more useful than these paws. It's one of my favorite technologies in all of Loftia. A hammer. A hammer? It's really good for salvaging old stuff like machines and boxes and bigger machines. Now give that project station of yours a spin, then come back out to clean your island. Oh, you'll also need this battery for all your DIY doings. Come and see me when you're done. I'll be right here, waiting, watching. Anyone else just like love Pebble so much? Look what cutie. Okay, craft a hammer. Project station lets you craft a variety of useful items. Select a recipe and check which materials it requires. If you have all the right materials, press craft to make it. Can we pin recipes? Yes. Thank you. Oh my. I'm so happy. I want to be able to do that. There are so many games that don't allow you to actually pin a recipe, and it just makes things so complicated. I just want to remember what I needed. And you will let me. Makes things so much easier. The mushrooms! I was supposed to spend 30 hours collecting these dang mushrooms. Spent a long time. A very long time collecting them. Okay, I know we can go and do the next thing, but I'm just going to clear out as much as I can. Oh? I just leveled up a skill? Okay, ping actually seems a lot better when you're at your own home. For some reason. So it's when you're in the main city, it's a bit of a problem. Nice work. Look at all the treasure you got. So, house, check. Hammer, double check. It looks like a lot. It looks a lot like we're getting close to carrot time. I did see this on early stream. It was just so funny. Like, carrot time? What's carrot time? I could feel it in my fur. It's Hazel. She's the cutest. Oh, hey, Peblets? I turned my back for 5 minutes and you're already daydreaming about carrots, huh? What can I say? My brain is just hardwired for the crunch. So cute. Well, you're the one lucky rodent. I actually dropped by to see if Cozy Case wants some gardening lessons. And since we've got to start from the ground up, I guess it really is carrot time. I knew it. You're in good hands, Cozy Case. Hazel will take it from you. Nice. Where is she? Hello. So it's so lovely to see a new face around here. I'm Hazel. Look at the seed shop and help new Loftians learn how to grow food. I hope you're ready to get your hands muddy, Peanut. Peanut? So tell me how are your farming skills. I have 10 green thumbs. No. I know what watering can is. I grew a rock once. I know what watering can is. That's the spirit. Tending to your own garden is so simple once you get the hang of it. First you'll need some basic equipment. A garden bed and a watering can. You can craft them at your project station. Next, let's get those carrot seeds Pebble mentioned. I have some right here for you. Nice, I don't have to go anywhere for them. Finally, just find your seeds a nice spot, give them some water and a little time to grow. Why don't you give it a try? I'll be right here if you have any questions. Nice. Okay. We press B? No? Oh wait, I think we need to... Okay, yeah, it tells me. Battery that you carry is what powers crafting stations around Loftia. Each crafting costs a certain amount of battery charges. If you run out of charges, you can use solar panels to recharge your battery. This is something I'm gonna admit I didn't really know what I was doing with. But like, I know you click on the solar panel and you click charge battery. And as long as this is full, you can use things that would use electricity, which makes sense. But for some reason, I just didn't understand it. I don't know. Okay, we have one of these, which now we can go in here and we can place. And I'm going to put them, like I said, where I put everything in, where everything was in the alpha, so I don't get confused. And then... where do I... Oh. Wait, this is kind of crazy. We have separate things in our bag. Nice. How do I actually find the seeds? Oh. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And it's raining, so we don't need to craft a watering can. We might not be able to do that without charging the battery. Hang on. Go over here. Craft a watering can. This one. We need some more metal scraps, which we don't have. Can I do these yet? Nope. What about this? That gave me wood scrap. We might have to go back and actually get the watering can because it's not going to count without a watering can. Unless we can... unless we can buy it from him. I don't know if we can buy... who we buy things from. I don't even remember. I think we have to go back to Milo. Now you're all set. We can finally do my favorite thing. Welcome celebration thingy. Ready? Don't blink. Ta-da! A welcome gift is from one of the developers? Whatever that means. Let me see what this little note says. Thank you for being a part of Loftia. It's amazing to have you here with us. We poured our hearts into creating this game, and I sincerely hope that you have a lot of fun playing, exploring, and enjoying every moment. And it's signed by Victoria. I can feel she poured her... oh, this note comes with 2 gifts. Why don't you find those new clothes in your collection and try them on? I bet you'll look squeaktastic. Just remember, if you don't like your clothes, there are plenty of others you can find and craft. Okay. We already know about this because we ran into this problem before. We got, I think, a skirt or something? cute. Wait, what am I doing? Stop doing that. Stop doing that. I'm gonna put this back on though for now. What else did we get? It said I had 2 things. Nope. Oh, that's so cute. It's so cute. The best thing that they ever added is this. The color wheel stuff. Actually insane. Actually crazy. This is so good. Stop. Now I need to change the color of the shoes. Do that. Oh my god. Stop. It's so cute. Wait, it's mushrooms. I just realized it has mushrooms. It's got mushrooms on it. That's like the perfect thing they could have given me. Like, I know it's like an RNG. Like, there's no, like, I don't think there's any way to get a certain thing. But somehow they gave me that very particular thing because I'm not sure if... Does everyone get the same thing? Is everyone getting like the same like mystery item as like a gift? Because if not, something's on my side. Look how cute this is. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, we do need to go back to the city though because I need some scraps. Because I currently don't have enough. I don't know if I'm the only one that had that problem though. For some reason, maybe I just didn't have enough metal on my plot. Maybe that was why. Not sure. I need to stop leaning forward though. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm like this. And I can just be back here and you can hear me just fine. Kind of ridiculous. I don't need to do that yet. Okay. Let me put my... Okay, we can do that. Okay. It says... Oh wait, I need it out. I need it out. Okay, let's see if I can find any scraps. I don't remember where the scraps are. Like, I know there's like a certain place to find certain stuff, but I'm going to completely forget everything. So we're going to have to wander around a little bit. Maybe around here? Might give me a tire. You might give me metal scraps. No, you give me glass. You didn't give me the right thing. There we go. Okay, we can already go home and do it now. I kind of thought that because it was already raining, I might not need to... I might not need to water the plants, but it's gonna make me do it. I think it's so that I definitely have the watering can, otherwise they just can't work into the gameplay, obviously. Which is fine. Oh my god. How stinking cute. You... Let me bonk you. That's so funny. I was like, wait, bonk me. I love this. This is so good. Like, let me bonk them. One of my best things about this game too is like the fact that they made that thing, but they made it so that it was cute. Because it's not like an angry thing. It's like a squeak. It's like a toy hammer. Like how cute. So cute. Okay, I want to get through like some sort of the main gameplay so that we can go fishing and stuff. Because, in fact, let me find something out. I can't remember where it is. This is all new to me. It might not show up yet, so I don't know if I want to say anything in case it's not. Okay, I'm not going to say anything, but there's something... In fact, wait, it might be up there. No. There's something I want to get to a point of during this test, if it's a thing still in the test. I don't know if it's going to be a thing or not. That I want to get to before maybe the end of stream, but I'm not sure if we'll be able to. It took me a while in alpha to do, so we'll see. Wait, how do we see? I don't think I actually need to do them. Oh, they have 4 minutes on them as well. That's okay. Let's talk to Pebble while we wait. I'll be honest, I can't really tell if you've changed or not, but you look like a million dues. I think you're ready to meet two of the most hype people in Loftia. Linda and Estella. Look at you all set up for tailoring and decorating. I love to hear it. And as the reigning Pebble-thon champion would tell you, showing the world your true colors is the ultimate way to make friends. You're kind of the cool kids around here, but I'm pretty sure they'll like you. Just be yourself and stuff. Just be yourself and stuff. Love that. Yeah, how many quests do we actually have? Complete, okay. Hello! Thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. How many people are actually playing the beta right now as well? Because I feel like there's not actually that many people that played the alpha. I feel like this is a lot of people's first times playing the game. It definitely feels like the first time for me because it's so different. But I'm like, I think people are more excited than me because they haven't had the chance to play it yet. But deep down inside, I'm like screaming. 30 hours in this game. This is going to be ridiculous. We have 2 weeks of this. 2 weeks to play this is going to mean that we have... Man, I got 30 hours in 2-day weekend during the alpha. You guys think we'll surpass 100 hours? Kind of missed out. I forgot to sign up a few months back. There's a bunch of other partnered... Palea? Oh my god, sorry. There's a bunch of other Loftia partners doing giveaways if you can see any of them. There's people on Twitter, Instagram, maybe TikTok, and on Twitch as well, and maybe on YouTube that are also doing giveaways. But with college and classes forgot to do it. Maybe have a jump around on socials and see if anyone's doing any. I did just give my only code away. If I had more, we would have done at least one on stream. But there are a bunch of people. And when I say a bunch, there's a lot of partners. So you could maybe win one. I do think people will be doing them throughout the entirety of the test as well. So I would definitely give that a go and see if you can get one. You're good, it's understandable. Yeah, I don't know if we actually get the chance to have another. If I do have potential to have another code, I will be giving it away on stream. So we'll see. But yeah, definitely jump around on socials and see if you can get a code or not. There are a bunch of people giving them away. They're fast on redeeming the code. I think some people do have quite a few. Oh, I thought that person was on my plot. I think it's quite a few people giving like I've seen people with 6 codes to give away. So there's definitely people that won't have given them all away just yet. But who knows? Who knows? We have 2 weeks of this. I think there could be chance for more. We have 30 seconds. We wait calmly and patiently, and then we harvest the carrots. And then it's carrot time for Pebble. Carrot time. Okay. And then once we've done this, I'm not really too sure what we do, but I know we need to go and talk to we need to talk to Linda and Estella. I feel like I can see them in my head where they used to be. But they may have moved. They may have moved. Okay, tell Hazel you planted the first seeds. You did, Peanut. The seeds seem to really like you. It makes me happy to see the land being so generous, even during these wobbly times. What is the wobble about? Why? Were we having earthquakes? Is this something I should know? Now that they're ready, you can put them in the shipping bin and send them off to the sea. I don't think I want to sell my first carrots. I might want to keep them. It's a lovely way to get something back for all the care you've put in. Plus, they It helps us keep all of Loftia well fed. Oh, true. Fine. Okay, sorry. I won't keep them for myself. Now I kind of feel bad. You might find other uses for your crops later on. Just be sure to check your goals before shipping all off. Yeah, I have to do it though. And where is the shipping bin? It's right next to me. Okay, we need 4. We keep 2. Okay, we keep 2. Send the others off. You're a natural. See, these dues you received are proof of the care that you've put into the land and into Loftia's future. Spend them on outfits, decorations, global village recipes, or even trade with other Loftians. We can trade. We can trade. Excuse me? When was that a thing? They've added so much in this last couple of months. This is insane. So we have trading, we have proximity chat. Not just voice chat, but proximity chat. So like when you're near someone, you can hear them talk. This is so fun. Mainly invest it back into your own island though. Loftia's sustainable growth path. Expansion is limited around here and it has to be given our circumstances. So you can't just turn your island into a big field of vegetables right away. You must prove you're using the land well, which is exactly what you just did. Amane handles building permits and Loftia's sustainable growth path. Go see her and see how she can help you grow. Okay. So a lot of, I think, the stream, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember how long it took me to get to a certain point in the game that I want to get to. It might take me a while. We kind of have to get through the learning stuff. So we go through like all the basics and then maybe we can do the other thing I was thinking about. I don't want to say what it is until I know it's in the game because I feel like that would be breaking my NDA, right? Like if something was in the alpha and it's not in the beta and I start talking about it, would that be bad? Would I get in trouble? I don't want to talk about it just in case. We'll leave it. It might not take too long to get to that point. All stories you're following can be seen in your story log. Story log can be accessed through the menu hub. You can pin stories. Okay, so we can pin and unpin. Nice. Let's go and find Linda, I think. And it's telling me where she is, and I'm just like walking past. Makes sense. Hi, Linda. So cute. Oh, a new face. It's always such a joy to see fresh looks around here. Cozy case, right? I'm Linda. I take care of the outfit shop, and it's so lovely to finally meet you. Together, we'll make sure your style speaks for you. And beside you, you are? Wait, I'll see you in a second. I'll see you in a second. Together, we'll make sure your style speaks for you. Tell me, Cozy Case, have you ever wanted an outfit that speaks for you? It's a special kind of strength, wearing something you've made yourself, you know. But first, you need a place to craft. Let's start by building your tailoring station. Such a charming little invention. It has every tool you need to bring your lovely clothes to life. Pencils, scissors, and pens. Here, take some cotton and fabric. It's just practice, but every masterpiece starts somewhere. Oh, it's you! Hi! Wait. I need to... Hi! That's so cute. Oh my god, I'm gonna love this. Like, running into you guys is gonna be so funny. I don't even know what it is. I can play these kinds of games and just not actually play with other people, but somehow there being other people in the game is just like so cool to me. I love the feeling of other people being around. We need to speak to all these people, so we're just gonna go and do them all. Friend request. I forgot that we can have friends. Who's this? Wait. Are these requests? Wait. Oh, I have these people added from last time. I just realized. These are people I added last time. I don't actually know who these people are. That's so funny. Okay. Cozy case, right? I'm Amani. I oversee the permits office and world projects here in Loftia. It's all about balance, growing enough to thrive, but not so much that we destabilize everything we rely on. Stick around, learn the systems, and I think you'll do just fine. Hazel mentioned your latest shipment of crops. Excellent work. You're doing more than just farming, you're securing Loftia's future. Given recent events, we must remain more vigilant than ever. What recent events? Wait, people didn't tell you about the earthquakes? See, I knew they were earthquakes, but I just thought maybe there was some mystical thing going on. Listen, the tremors have been moderate so far. Stable too, there's no need to panic. We're still figuring out the cause, but history has shown that letting things grow without limits only increases the stress of the land. So we're taking things one step at a time. You must ensure your island is stable before expanding further. That's why we established the sustainable growth path. I can see that you've put both heart and hard work into your land. Let's keep it going. Try upgrading a building permit from your island. Upgrading a permit. Oh my god. Guys, my reading today is not good. I haven't even read a book in weeks. So me reading stuff in games is like crazy. So forgive me. I'm trying. Try upgrading a building permit for your island. It allows for safe, gradual expansion. The words are just not coming out. You can pin stories in your tasks. We already know about this. Yeah, we already know about that. Oh. Is it telling me to go back? Oh. I have AA, so I can do this. Nice. Okay, report back. Amazing work. You're officially part of the Loftia's sustainable growth path. Now, wait, did you feel that? Yeah, I thought I saw something. Hello. Wait, that's new. Yeah, the tremor was significantly stronger the last few. Oh, I should go check on Herb and the gardens. Oh, Herb. I forgot about Herb. I love Herb. He's so cute. Hazel, hold on. An earthquake here shouldn't be felt all the way on the other islands, right? Hazel has a point. The air routes have been increasingly unpredictable lately. Something is definitely off. It's true. Even the plants and fish have been acting up. It feels like we're dealing with a whole new level of instability. Oh no, I'd better go check on my scraps. In the greed fell. Sorry, I feel like the way that she was like, oh, the plants and the fish are having problems. And Milo's like, my scraps. Hey, no need to panic, folks, for activating the protocol. Cliffy will take care of safe travels and checking if all districts are fine. Because of the case, we're going to need all the help we can muster. You in? How can I help? You have to get to the High Gardens and the grid farm. Cliff will show you the way. I already know my way. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry, Cliff. I already know. Okay. We already know about this. Number of things that you can place on your island is limited by permits, so we have to upgrade them. Got it. DU is main currency to use in shops across Loftia. Is used to buy seeds, blueprints, upgrading permits, and more. Shipping crops and dishes is the main way to earn DU in Loftia, but be sure to stop by Hazel's seed shop whenever you're in need of more seeds. Okay. So, I don't need to talk to Cliff, because it's probably going to make me talk to him, but I don't even need to talk to him, because I know where I'm kind of going. It's that way, I think. Yeah, I think it's that way, or it's one of the furthest distance outside of the island. That's what I know. As long as I can keep walking one way. Sorry, I got distracted. I just saw that person's name. So we have Victoria Sponge Cake and Bean Sprout. I love your guys' names. Bean Sprout. That's such a, like, appropriate name as well. Loftia is better with friends. They're not wrong. I have 3 friends. If anyone sees me in game, by the way, don't fret to add me. We can all vibe together. If anyone needs help with anything, so I know we can trade now as well. That makes it even better. Oh, I knew our paths would cross again. Do we know each other? Oh, I always forget most people don't remember their past lives. Go. I'm Estella, your guiding star for a breathtaking home. Oh, she cute though. Look at the outfit. Just me, if you want a full life in Loftia, a place to call your own is a must. Speaking of, Karina? Oh, wait, hang on. Speaking of which, oh, Karina, how have you survived Loftia like this? Oh, she's talking about me? I didn't know if that was a name or not. Like, how? Sun-dried tomatoes and look. Your aura, it's so empty, just like your home. Should I be offended? I have the cutest little outfit on. It would be so deeply unethical to let you go out living this way. Just sleeves up. Corazon? I don't know how to say these words. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering these words. I'm too Yorkshire to read words in, like, the proper accent too. I apologize in advance. We're installing a carpentry station in your home. This beauty is a gateway to furniture with a soul. Okay. So now we need to... Okay, we need to go bash some stuff because we don't have enough materials. But is this her home? Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so cute. Everything's just too cute. I'm gonna be obsessed again. Give me a few hours of stream. And I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna like end stream and be like, guys, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go and I'll leave Palia till tomorrow. I won't be playing, like, you know, and I'll get on tomorrow and be like, guys, I played all night. I'm gonna have to try not to do that. But it's just so difficult. It's so difficult. Like, this game is so, like, it's addictive in the right way. You know? I don't want to say it's addictive in the sense that it's like, oh, it's really bad for you, but it's like, it's addictive. The game genuinely is just addictive because it's so cute and there's just so much to do. And I've been saying this for a long time too. I've been telling people on stream for like months about how much I wanted to play again. We've surpassed the 30-hour mark now. Getting a little bit ridiculous. I wonder how many hours I'm gonna have before full release. Because I'm not sure if this is this the last test before we go into full release? Or not full release, but early access. I don't think the game is launching into full release. I believe it's coming into early access, but still. When we go into early access, I'm curious to see just how many hours I have. Because it could be a lot. It could be a lot. It could be 100. It could be 200. And I think the best way to actually understand how much I love this game is that I don't even care if I'm on 300 ping. I keep bouncing up and I'm just like, it's fine. See, it's fine. Although I am a little bit confused. Is the reason that I'm on not great ping has nothing to do with it being in Frankfurt? Because I don't think Frankfurt servers are that bad in other games for me. So I'm not too sure why. I don't know if anyone else is in the UK, but they're obviously on Frankfurt servers. Are you guys having any problems? Or is the ping just my problem? Because I know the rubber banding could be something to do with the servers, but... Wait, I don't remember. Do we don't have any, like, energy bars or anything in this, right? I don't think we do. If we do, it's bad because this is one of those games where you want to just like roam around. Oh, I forgot about that. But you just want to like roam around and collect everything. It's such a chill game for something like that. We need wood. We need wood. I think the funniest thing, a lot of games are like, oh, go chop down this tree. And Lofty is like obviously not going to want to tell you to do that because that's like just this, that's just like completely against the point of Loftia. So it's like, you've got to go find the scraps. The majority of materials in this game is scraps. So like, you're not cutting down trees. You're not going into a forest and just cutting down all the trees because that would be bad. There's no deforestation in Loftia like there is now in Palia. That's one of the biggest differences. We have water. Oh. Damn it. Let us swim. Let us be free. Why I always want to be able to swim in games, I genuinely do not understand. I just keep blaming Spyro. No matter what. It's Spyro's fault. I don't even understand why I care about swimming so much. I just like hearing like a pitter-patter of water. I'm not sure if that makes sense to some people, but what I did post on, I think TikTok was it, or on Instagram. And a couple of people were like, no, I get it. I'm the same. I'm like, thank God. Because am I the only one? Gladly, I'm not. Okay, we need to... I think we need to go back. We need to go back home. Go back home, do the carpentry station, and talk to Pebble. And how many more things do we have in terms of skills? One, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we might have quite a few to go through. But I don't think it actually takes very long to get through an introduction of this. I think it's a little bit more... It's like not as complicated. I think, I'm not gonna lie, I found it very complicated in some games over the last couple of years of like the introductions to things and understanding how to do things. And I think Loftia is a little bit better at sort of describing what you actually need to do. And I think it might have something to do with the fact that as much as the game has a lot, there's a lot in this game. It's simplistically a lot, if that makes sense. And I love that. Oh, we need more energy. We're also going to get to a point where we need to build a lot of these. Because we're going to need a lot of stuff. Oh, craft any piece of furniture. Can't do that yet, right? I don't think I can do that yet. I don't think we're able to actually do the furniture thing yet. Build a carpentry branch. Oh wait, we can't. Hang on. I got confused. We place the bench. And then we can do the furniture on here. Yeah, okay. We move this. Yes, okay. I don't like where it was. Wait, why does it still say empty? Oh, the bar is empty, okay. What can we craft? We don't have... Oh, we can do this, okay. I think that counts. And then we place it. Yeah, okay. It's just gonna go on the floor. But it's okay. We have a bed, 2 lamps, and a boba tea. We don't need much, though. We don't need much. Hang on. What is this? House showcase. We're gonna have house tours? Hello? You nailed it. They totally loved you. You? Not that I was worried. I knew they'd adore you. Anyway, I'm just I'm just so ready to see all the pretty thingies you make. Go on, Cozy Kids. Unleash those creative sparkles. I'll be back at the city whenever you want a quick tour. Okay, the collection screen shows you everything you have collected so far, as well as everything you still have to be discovered. You find a collection screen in the home menu, telling important things about... Oh, so it actually tells you where to find things! I didn't see that. Build a tailoring station. That is not my house. That is not my house. Okay, what do we need for this? Okay. So we're gonna go back to the city again. I actually don't even mind the back and forth in this game either, because it's not the same way that a lot of other games are. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm like, oh, I need a mount. I need something to get me there quickly. I need, like, really good fast travel. This is fine. This is fine. I don't actually have a problem with how much traveling you need to do. I actually find it fine. For the first time, there's not many games that I can say that about, because I just sometimes really don't like waiting around. But this perfect. Actually perfect. Okay, we're gonna go to the scrapyard area, I think. Oh my god, some of y'all look so cute. Adorable. I probably look boring in comparison with my, like, green outfit, but I wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be me without the green outfit, would I really? Oh my god. Okay, what do we need? Screws and plastics. I'm, like, doing the complete wrong stuff. But that's okay, because we're gonna need stuff anyway. We're gonna need stuff anyway. You might do. What was that? Screws. I think we're definitely in the wrong area, though. Oh. Wait, are these people? Wait. How many people are they on this? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's at least 15, 20 people on right now. I think we need to go over here. If we pin that, is there any way to actually... If I follow the arrow, does it take me to the arrow? If I follow the arrow, does it take me to the pin? Because it's not taking me to pebbles. Where am I? No, I don't think it does. Okay, that's a little odd. There's, like, no indication. Tell me where I am. Okay, that's fine. I do feel like it makes the arrow, the pin on the map a little bit useless. But, I mean, the animation between this and the map isn't too bad, so it's fine. We can work with that. Also, I'm going to keep walking past people thinking that they're NPCs, but they're actually real people. Because I kind of forget when I'm playing a game like this. I'm like, I kind of forget there's actually people in the game. I am kind of curious how proximity chat's going to work, though. I can see that going a little bit insane. Like, some people are going to... I don't even know. The memes... I can really see it now. The thing is, after this stream as well, I get to go and watch a bunch of other people, which is going to make it so much fun. I get to go see how they got on. So I'll see if anyone used their proximity chat or not. I don't know. Maybe we should look in here. Construction site. Scrap quarter. Oh. I didn't even know all that was up there. What's this? Contribution bin. Yeah, so it doesn't actually tell me where they all are. So I'm going to assume that this is the scrap quarter. The, like, futuristic-y one? Thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm kind of lost, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind. I did remember getting stuck somewhere here, and I'm terrified of getting stuck there again. Hi, Loftia looks fun. It's so fun. This is one of my top anticipated games ever. I got to play alpha. I think it was the end of last year, maybe. I'm not too sure when it was, but I think it was last year. For a weekend. I played one weekend and one day of another weekend. And in 2 to 3 days, I managed to accumulate 30 hours. So it's definitely very fun. If you don't have access to the beta, I would definitely recommend checking it out when the game comes out into early access. This game, I've been following development since the first TikTok that they uploaded. Kind of emotional. Kind of emotional when I actually think about it. The first TikTok ever that was uploaded that was like, we're quitting our jobs to make a video game. And now here I am playing it. Found out maybe 2 months ago. You know what? That's actually really good because that means you haven't had to wait too long. Because I do believe we are aiming for a release very soon. So you get to play soon regardless to if you have beta access or not. But if you don't have beta access, there are a bunch of other partners that are giving away codes right now. So if you are interested, you could maybe try and get one of those. I missed out on the Kickstarter. That's very unfortunate. But I mean, honestly, every other thing you can do to support the game, just as good. But yeah, it does suck when you miss out on things you didn't really know about. I've done that with so many games. I'm like, oh no, I wish I really did like have a chance to support this game early on. But your inventory can store many items, but you can only carry a certain amount. Guys, we're full. We got a full bag already. This is where the problem comes in. I'm so eager to try it out. Definitely check out any socials you have. I can't remember what the hashtag is. What's the hashtag? Because I already gave my 1 key out. However, there is a hashtag. Loftia Beta giveaway. So if you search that up on pretty much any social media right now, there will be a bunch of people doing giveaways. And yeah, they're giving away a key for the beta. Doesn't include the early access, but it's for the next 2 weeks, I think. So if you haven't already, I would definitely try and see if you can get in. We, however, need to get a storage bin. So how do I get that? Because I'm already full. And I don't have much. Do we craft that ourselves? It's not going to let me do anything, is it? I don't think I can pick anything up. Okay, let's go back to our home and see if we can do that. Because I feel like that's going to be a problem. Going to be a big problem that keeps arising every 2 seconds if I don't figure it out. I just had like a thought that I forgot that we can have pets in this game. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I'm right about this, but I'm almost sure that there is a goose. And if there isn't a goose, we need one, okay? But I'm pretty sure they said that there is going to be a goose pet. And I need it. I need it. Oh, we can make one. We just have to charge the battery. Okay. Okay, we need to make a chest. You guys don't understand how bad my problem with collecting things in games is. You're about to find out. In alpha, I had about 20 chests along here in one weekend. It's ridiculous. But I just like, if you're gonna let me collect unlimited things, then we're gonna do that. Okay, we need screws and plastic. Oh, we need screws. So let's put all of these in the chest. Screws and plastic discards. Okay, and then we can go back out. Nice. And we can talk to Estella too. I do think we should be doing that. It's actually kind of crazy. We've been live for 2 hours. We've been live for 2 hours. But I'm heavily distracted and we're going to keep going. This game could keep me online forever. Whatever. Okay, I definitely am rubber banding. But it's fine. We need to go this way. I wonder what keeps making it go up. I think when I end stream, I'll have a little like discussion with people in Discord and see what's going on. I know some people that were on, I think the Sydney server switched over to the LA server and it stopped the rubber banding, but it's gonna have a lot of high ping. So it's not really worth it for me to do that. I'm gonna have high ping spikes anyway if I switch to LA. So 24-hour stream, no. No. Unfortunately, my health would never let me do a 24-hour stream. I wish. I wish. I will be streaming this a lot though. This is going to be pretty much the only thing I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be streaming until it ends. And then once the testing has ended for this, we will be going back to Palia and playing the new update. That should be out, I think, on the 12th of May. So we've got a very busy amount of, like, a good month ahead. My phone's about to die. That's not good. Plug that in. We have a busy month ahead. So we have Loftia for the next 2 weeks. And then we have the new update for Palia soon as well. Which I'm just so excited for everything. Everything's finally coming together. All the things that I waited so long for, all of the games that I wishlisted are now pretty much all out. All we have is Loftia and Witchbrook. And then we're on to the things that I found recent. I didn't find, I think, Petite Planet until recently. And I didn't know about, is it Animo? I think it's Animo or Amino. I don't remember how to say it. I never know how to say that. But those games I found more recently. But I've been following Witchbrook for years and Loftia since the beginning. So, oh, we've come the wrong way. So now that these games are finally, like, at least on the horizon, it's gonna be crazy. You got access to the Petite Planet? See, I didn't really know about Petite Planet until it was either this year or last year. So I didn't really know about it. So I signed up, but I think I signed up quite late. I think I was like, I was risking it with the potential chance to get the access, but I unfortunately didn't get in. Whereas with Loftia, obviously I got alpha access, so I just get access until full release anyway. I basically already paid for the game. So this game's basically already mine. But yeah, Petite Planet I didn't get in. So I hope you have fun with it. You have to let me know how it is. I'm gonna have to go and watch some people and see how that is. Did it come out yesterday? Or was it the day before yesterday, I think? I think it was the day before Loftia's test started. Ooh. Oh, ping spike. Ping spike. But yeah, I think Petite Planet looks so cute. I keep seeing games pop up and I'm like, oh, I really need this. I want to play that game so bad. I'm kind of excited to see when Witchbrook actually comes out. Because you know I'm going to be streaming it, but like, man. It was April 21st? Okay, yeah, I thought it was the day before Loftia. I saw it and was like, wait, I need to go to my emails. I checked my emails and I was like, I didn't get in. I didn't get in, but you know what? It's fine because we got Loftia instead. Everyone gets something. Everyone gets something. Someone else got my Petite Planet, so it's fine. Ooh, be careful. Some permissions like use storage or decorate may allow players to take items from an island and house. Treat them with care. What? How do I turn that on? I think I need to go back home anyway. Let's go back home. I want to make sure no one takes my stuff. Did someone just take my things? If anyone is at my home right now and taking my items out of my chest. Excuse you. Mine. No, I hope I have that turned on. I just put everything in there except for the two things I needed for a quest. How do I turn it on? Oh wait, do we go to this? No, where's the setting for it? Is it in here? No, where's the setting? Am I crazy? How do I turn the setting on so that no one can steal my stuff? There's like nothing. What's this? Nope. Did you get robbed? I don't know if I did. I don't think I did. But I have a feeling like I might if I don't figure this out. Where is it? Is it in settings? Gameplay. Controls. Okay, there's no setting for it though. This is actually very confusing. Where's my like option to turn that off? Excuse me? Like, that sounds kind of crazy, right? I don't want to leave everything here and people can just steal it. Wait, can I hold this down? No, I have to tap it. Okay. Wait. Why can't I stash them? Oh, I have to make another one. Okay, we're gonna make a bunch of chests. Let's see how many chests I can make. Wood scrap. Okay, I can only make one more. Never mind. It won't let me. Wait, wood scrap. I only have 3. Wait, no, that's crazy because I can't store anything now. Okay. Let's take as much as I can. And then only put certain stuff in here. In fact, let's do the tailoring station first so that it actually registers the fact that I have anything. Because if you put things in the chest, I believe it doesn't actually know that you have it, so it doesn't count. Wait, I want to move you. There. Okay. Craft any piece of clothing and tell Estelle about your new decor. So I think we can just pop... I had a system for this before. And it was like screws with the metal scraps, the clay with the wood, materials all together, and like... Now we're just gonna have to like deal with it. Which I don't want to do. Wait, I can only store 20 of this. You're telling me I can't put... Girl, no. What? I can only put 20 of each item in a chest. I wonder if that's because I have to level up to get a better chest. Or something, because I remember having like a bunch of these. I'm gonna have to go back from my stream after stream and actually figure out like anything I have to ask. Anything to ask anyone in Discord. Be like, does anyone know any of these things? What can we store then? Just like everything. Or as much as humanly possible. Okay. Craft any piece of clothing. Maybe the shoes. I think I'd do the shoes. The shoes look cute. Let's do shoes. And then let's actually put it on because they're going to be cute. These ones are okay, but I feel like I want socks on and I don't have socks on and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. So let's make these cute. Like that. There we go. That looks so much better now she has socks on. Ads are gonna begin in 30 seconds. I didn't even realize. I'm so sorry. We have 3 minutes of ads for 57 minutes of no ads, and I I'm so sorry. Cannot do anything about it. They will play. We're not really doing too much. We are just talking to NPCs. Once we get into the actual game, I think maybe the next ad break, I will take a quick break. But I think for now, we're going to carry on playing. But we are not going anywhere. Don't worry. We are just going to go back to the city and hand in some quests. There's so many notifications coming through because of the alpha test. It's so funny. Oh my god. In fact, I should probably update my tweet. I even think about that. Just post underneath. Oh, I'm trying to remember your username. I want to make sure I don't, like, forget to do this. Okay. On there. Can I not find you like that? Oh. Okay, I'll just put this. Okay. Just to make sure that people don't keep retweeting it being like, yay, I'm gonna get a beta key, and I'm like, sorry, you're not. I feel so bad. Okay, talk to Estelle and talk to Linda. Linda, you're first. You're first. Hello. New clothes. Oh, okay, it's just the ones that I can currently craft. Okay. Oh, her outfit is lovely. You know, my grandmother used to say that every customer tells a story. It's such a joy to see new stories can still be told. Nice. Okay. Wait, it says to talk to Linda. Oh, there we go. Okay. It warms my heart to see a new town blooming so beautifully. But I must admit, my own needles have been quiet lately. I've been searching for a spark that just won't come. Creative block? Maybe I can help. Oh, no. I should be the one helping you settle in, not the other way around. Though, a fresh pair of eyes might be just what I need. You see, my grandmother was a seamstress. She left me a few precious pieces of fabric, but, well, even though I was sparing with them, I used them all, and I haven't been able to create anything new since. Maybe, just maybe, you could help me find my creative spark in a new kind of material. Okay, let's go find Estelle. How do we change the... She's not that far, I don't think. Is this her? Yeah, there she is. I was gonna say, how do I change it so it tracks? But it won't track. Okay. The world looks so live with real players around. Honestly, it truly feels it. I think some games might struggle with that, but I usually do play these games solo. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I do play them quite solo, but I love the idea of there being other people around. And in Loftia, it just feels so nice to, like, everywhere you look, there's someone. Whether they're bonking you on the head with a hammer or not, it doesn't even matter. It's literally perfect. Like, look, there's one person here, one person there, one person here. They're everywhere. I'm an M player, so I enjoy it. I play MMOs. I do enjoy MMOs in the aspect that I'm one of those people that likes to be alone but not lonely, and I like the idea of playing a game that has other people there, even if I'm not playing with them, you know? I'm not against playing with other people, but I do like the idea that I can play my own and still have other people around. So yeah. Do you feel it? Do I feel it? You inhale a whole new energy. Girl, I put a drink on the floor. Someone clapping. Who is that? Someone's clapping behind my head. I can't see them. You exhale a whole new energy now that your house is more alive. Now I put a boba tea on the floor. This is on the beginning of your journey. But, what a beginning. Nice. It's you! Hello! I knew it had to be you. I could just hear the clapping. You got a new outfit. Hi! How do I emote? J? Oh! Wait! Wait, this is so cute! Wait, how do I inspire Linda? Inspire Linda. Help Linda rediscover inspiration by sharing materials and stories. So do I just take her stuff? Or do I have to make materials to then take it? Oh. Oh! Wait, this is cool. This is cool. Hang on. So all I actually have to have is... Ooh. Wait. Pastel outfit set. So I have to do this to then get this? Oh, wait, no, that one's there. Okay. Oh, I think I'm going to sneeze. Oh, it's one of those things where you want to sneeze, but then it just doesn't happen. Yeah, that's not good. I think we might just do this one because it's going to be a little bit easier. Let me see if the cotton is still where I remember it being. Or is it cotton I'm thinking of? Oh, I don't think it is what I'm thinking of. Oh. Well, we have the seeds. But a lot of wild berries are in here. And I remember the mushrooms are either in here or on the outside of this. Like that there. But you do need a certain material for... Oh. The dome is not just a lovely place of infrastructure that houses our hot air balloon. Its greenhouse effect also encourages plant growth and protects the more fragile breeds from sun and weather. Furthermore, the geodesic design makes the dome an incredibly strong structure while also reducing the materials required for construction. Loftia structures are designed to embed themselves seamlessly into nature and complement the environment rather than fight it. Cool. I didn't know that was going to be there. I didn't expect there to be like a little like info card lying around. I could have sworn I just saw someone's name though, and it was like so close to mine. The last time I played Loftia, there was someone with the exact same name as mine, and I think it was my name was literally just Casey in game, and their name was like that with something else on it, and we were just like, it was so cute because I don't think we could type or something, so we were just jumping up and down for like a good 5 minutes. But I don't have a screenshot. I think I might have posted it in the Discord though. Maybe I should go and find it. Oh. Oh, it might have been Kenza that I saw. That's so funny. We have cotton. But we need tomatoes. I think I can just go buy tomatoes. Maybe I can buy them from her? Where is she? This way. Okay, I think we can buy tomatoes. If we can buy tomatoes, then we can do that without going back. Shop. No. Okay, we can't. But we can buy them. How many does this give? When I pick this, do I need more? I won't let me buy more. It won't let me buy any more. Why won't it let me buy more? I have 30. Why isn't it letting me buy? Is it ping? It's ping. That's why. Oh, I didn't mean to speak to her, but it's okay. That tremor, it felt different this time. I just hope everyone is alright. I keep thinking about my sweet little sprouts in the hanging gardens. They don't like to be startled, and neither do I, if I'm honest. Listen, Armani and Cliff are guiding everyone through this. Why don't you check it out with them? I think they could use a hand right now. Well, I will. I will, but give me a little second. I need to buy some tomatoes. Yeah, okay, so it was a problem with the ping. That's why I couldn't buy them. It was a little bit confusing. Also, I've just realized something. I didn't save the color of the shoes, guys. I forgot to do that. Now she looks cute. There we go. Okay, we need to go back home and plant these seeds. And I think while we're waiting for that, maybe we go to the hanging gardens. Maybe we go and see... some new friends. All I'm saying is Herb's adorable. Okay, he's the cutest. He kind of gives me like... That's him there on the right. It's kind of like an Ashura type of vibe from Palia. It's the same kind of vibe as that. Oh. Tomato seeds. And then we do... watering can. There we go. And how long do they take? Does it tell me how long? I don't remember how... Oh, they take 30 minutes? Okay. That's fine. Let's try and put anything I have here in so that we can go. Okay. So I think... Yeah, this is the only thing we have right now. So I'm actually going to go and try and do the other stuff, I think. Which I think I just go on the... I think I just go to the platform. I'm not really sure what it's like now when you want to go to the Hanging Gardens. I'm not really too sure. I think they may have changed it. So I'm going to have to see about that. I think I read that on the patch notes in the... Not the patch notes, the dev notes in... I think it was the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter notes. But they changed quite a few things. I'm still trying to get used to it. Yeah, so let's... see. How do I untag? Do I just undo that? No, it's still got the other thing tagged. Oh, it's because I tagged it for that. That's fine. We can keep it. I think I go over here. Let's see. Is it this way? I feel like it might be this way. But it looks like a dead end, so maybe not. Let's look. It's this way? There we go. Okay, so it's the opposite side. So you come through onto the island this way the first time, and then you end up over that side to go anywhere else. We're gonna make our way through. Which I'm gonna do without getting distracted with everything else. In fact, maybe we should speak to Pebble first, just in case he tells us to go there. Yeah, no. Okay, let's just go then. Oh, we need to go to Cliff. I think that's what we have to do. Let's talk to him then, because I think he's going to take me there, even though I know where I'm going. I handle district level travel and safety. Basically, keep Loftians moving and alive, ideally in that order. Alright, we'll just need to be extra cautious. Traveling can be highly unpredictable in these uncertain times. And you can't really help the community if you're upside down. You're upside down in a ditch. Trust me on that. Anyway, before you head out to another district, I'll need to check your safety device. Safety device? I'm going to assume that was a joke. Listen, you need to be more functional glider that passes it. Oh. Where do I find the glider? Damn it, do I have to do a glider before I go? Understandable. Understandable, it's fine. You have to craft one from scratch. That means leveling up your crafting to be able to create new materials. My luck and help, he enjoys projects. You should talk to him and come back once you stop being a liability. Excuse me. You're rude. I just wanted to go see my friend Herb. That was all I wanted. I just wanted to go see Herb. And Cliff's just being mean. But fine, I guess. Hello, I found you for the Lofty Discord. Welcome. Welcome in. Are you currently playing the game, or have you not got any access to the game? I hope you have. If not, I hope you're enjoying watching streams at least. And if not, you could also go to and see if anyone else has any codes out there. I do know there are a bunch of people that haven't got access to the game right now, but there are so many people that are doing giveaways for codes. No access, I just learned about the game through YouTubers. Oh, that makes so much sense for the emotes. I saw everyone in game the other day, and someone posted in the Discord a picture from their stream of like the purple hair, and they're like, who are these girls? And I was like, I know that name. But yeah, a bunch of people are doing giveaways. If you haven't already entered any of them, there are so many people doing them. But we did ours at the beginning of stream. But I've seen so many people. There are so many people doing giveaways, which is so cool. Okay, we have to speak to Milo because we're not allowed to go see Herb until we do a bunch of things for Milo because Cliff is being mean. But it's fine. We'll do the hard work to get where we want to be. We're able to enter a couple giveaways. Ooh, I saw quite a few last week, I think, more than anything. I only got accepted into the partner program like 2 days ago. So I was like, wait, how do I do a giveaway? It was so stressful. I've never had to do a giveaway before, and I was like, I kind of have to do this. I can't have a code and not give it out to someone. So, vibes are a little wonky right now. Not gonna lie. I need to know who wrote the, what do you call it? Oh my god, mind blank. My mind's gone blank. Who did, like, the like, text in-game? Whatever you call it. I don't know what the word is. Who wrote all of this? Because they deserve a raise. I love when, like, characters have, like, actual personalities and, like, attitude. Like, Cliff is being really mean. Milo's just, like, get to the point. I just realized his tattoo on his arm. You probably can't see it properly because of the text on the thing, but it says mum in a love heart. It's so cute. Vibes are a little wonky right now, not gonna lie. But hey, Loftia always bounces back. I just keep thinking about my crew over in the grid form. But my sister's probably got everything under control. She always does. Wait, who's his sister? We have siblings? I didn't even realize. She also told me to stay out of her way a bit. So, yeah. Anyway, what brings you by? Cliff sent me? I want to travel. But Cliff sent me so I could travel. Oh, it's my ultimate bro, Cliff. Why does he like him? Cliff has an attitude with me. Figured I could help you out. Sounds about right. But Cliff was being so mean to me. He was like, come back when you stop being a liability. Like, my bad. I just want to go see Herb. You're going to need a glider. Let's get away to making you a new one. First, let's get you the refining station. It's how you turn raw materials into useful things. Tiny hiccup though. I may have misplaced the station blueprint. Milo. What? Why? Why? What? Going to look because it's early morning for me, but I do gotta get ready for work day. Have a good day. I hope work treats you well, but thank you for the look. I do appreciate it. And hopefully you get a code to the game soon. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Oh, we're playing a game. There's a game being played right next to me. Everyone's running around with a bouncy ball. So here's the plan. I'll track it down and you gather the materials to actually build a refining station. What do you say? Where do I find them? Right, that part's simple. You know, stuff just drops from the sky around here and it likes falling in familiar spots. Wood likes hanging out near the construction site, for example. But here, go have your own treasure hunt. If you get struck, come back and see me. I'll be here looking for that blueprint. Are you kidding me? This guy's just like, oh, we only need fiber. We only need fiber. That is good. We are good. We are fine. Okay. Plant fiber. How do I find plant fiber? Because I most definitely haven't picked that up yet. I don't know how to find it. How do I find plant fiber? Do we do that? I think near the center? Might be near the center. I think there are things you can buy, but I just don't know who to buy from. So, still looking, don't mind me. I saw your message at the beginning of the stream. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. You brought me some luck as well. I just found some plant fiber. Now we know where we get the fiber from. It's from like the little grass looking things like this. So we are good. We're good. We can go do it now. Okay, cool. I have all the other materials. That's why you harbor everything you can find. Oh. A rubber band him. We're rubber banding, but it's fine. I know it's not me that's like getting the rubber banding because of my internet, because otherwise stream would be bad, and I'm going to assume that Loftia is playing fine and stream is all fine. It's just the server issues. It's probably just because there's so many people playing the game. I'm not even sure how many people they expected to be in the game. But when I obviously didn't stream last night, but I saw so many people that were watching. There was like 8k views, which is insane, by the way. Like, that's so cool. Great job. Oh, hey, here's the blueprint. Oh, hey, you just found it in 2 seconds. Can you believe it was in my pocket the whole time? Yes, I can. Now comes the best part, putting this beauty together and giving it a test run. You'll need some screws and wires for that. I think I had them, but they're back home. Just so you know, these machines like to take their time. Don't feel like you have to watch it. Go enjoy the island while it does all its heavy lifting. We have everything we need, so we can just go straight home and do it. Okay, let's go home, craft the station, get a glider, and go see Herb. Please tell me there is nothing else I need to do. Because I need to go there. It's so pretty. Like, it's pretty here, but for some reason, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. I can't actually compare it to other games. But you know when you have, like, zones in games and you just prefer one over the other? It's just like that. I just want to be there. I just want to be there and vibe. I just want to be there more than I want to be here. Plus, there's a lot of things we can get from there that we cannot get from the city, so... Let's make this. What do we need? The refining? Is this the thing we need? Yeah, okay. We need to do the barrier, though. Okay. Do we need another thing to make this? No, okay. Good. And then we can put this down. I'll just put it there. Okay. We need more berries for this. Process Mel. Takes 30 seconds. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. That could be a lot worse. We also need to water my plants, because I completely forgot. Yeah. Put that away. 14 seconds. Okay, so we need to do... I don't think I can make multiple of these. I might as well just stay here and do all of them. Because we can't go anywhere until I do this, so... It's fine. We've done that, and then we need to do plank. Okay, so it takes quite a lot of the battery up, but it also takes 30 seconds to actually do it for just one. For just one. But you know what? It's okay. Herb can wait. Herb can wait. It's fine. Honestly, I think 30 seconds compared to, what was it, 7 hours in Palia for the first house? I will never get over that. I will never get over the trauma of, like, you made us wait so long. And they updated the game. So basically, if you're new to Palia, you might be lucky and not actually have to do anything. You pretty much just get given a house. But to have a house, when I was playing the game, we had to wait hours for that thing to build. Luckily, we just get a house in this game. We don't have to wait hours and hours and hours. Which is so good, because I feel like I can already see people building, like, insane stuff on this. Every time I do a new game, I'm like, oh, there's going to be people that make, like, the most ridiculously beautiful houses. Like, I haven't done anything to this yet, but the game's been out for just under 24 hours. When people start posting their builds on Twitter, that's how you know it gets real. When there's like 50 people that have already got like a mansion or something. I don't actually know how big the island can be, because it's not that big, but I do wonder how much room we can get. Can we expand it? Tell Milo it's done. How long do these have left? Because these are gonna take another 10 minutes and I have to water them again, I think. And we also need to just get rid of... Oh, wait, no, we need these. No, I need that. Okay, we can keep everything else. Let's go back to Milo. I still don't know how to, like, make sure that my house isn't, like, being, like, raided and no one's stealing my stuff. I don't know if that's, like, a setting or what. All I'm saying is, if anyone's out there and you see my house, please do not steal my stuff. Please don't steal my things. All I'm asking is leave my stuff alone. It's not that great. Until we get, like, the really good stuff, and then it becomes a problem. I, like, really have to figure out how to, like, make sure no one can steal stuff. Because if I have, like, the really good things that cost a lot of money to buy, and I'm just, like, leaving it there for people to steal. Yeah. Wow, you're a real knack for this. Thanks for the help. Yeah, no worries. I was thinking, maybe I could actually be useful. I could actually be useful around here, you know? Hanging out with the workshop, help Loftians help each other. So thank you for helping me. Help you help me? Wait, do you think Cliff could have sent you here on purpose? Like a total bro move to nudge me back into my journey? What? Like a total bro move to nudge me back onto my journey. What are you talking about, Milo? What are you trying to say? Really is just... really is the best friend. Banking for me. He's probably waiting for you to buy the dome, ready to help you craft that glider. I don't know what he was trying to suggest. But it's okay, because now we're with Cliff, and I want to leave. You're back, which means you've got a refining station to make materials for your new glider. Guess Milo came through. Honestly, those islands would probably fall apart without that guy. Let's keep that between us, though. I feel like people aren't telling each other things. They're all keeping secrets. Anyway, now it's time to craft you a safety compliant glider. Okay. Yeah, he told me to come back when I stopped being a danger, basically. Here's the blueprint. You'll notice it's a bit more complicated than usual. That's where all the practice pays off, and it does end with you flying, so fair trade. I'll be around if you need assistance. Craft the glider. Do I need to do anything to craft this glider, or can I just craft it? Because Cliff isn't the most helpful. I'm building a vendetta against him already. I'm already, like, giving him his, like, villain arc. He's like, I've got an enemy and I've got a friend. And Cliff's the enemy. In all fairness, if it wasn't for Cliff, I wouldn't be able to travel, so... I kinda, like, need to not complain. Oh, we need straw and rubber? Do I need to do this? I do. Okay, can I make more of these then? Yes, I can make at least one more. Okay. So I don't want to wait around for it for too long. I don't mind waiting a little bit, but... Wait. Can I not? Oh. You can only have one until you upgrade. Why? Why? Can I buy? How much do I have? Where's my currency? I don't even know my currency. It doesn't actually tell me anywhere. That's actually really annoying. Okay. Let's go see. I have nothing. Oh. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to buy anything. I think I'll be able to do stuff more when we get to... I'm going to go back. Once we get to the place I'm trying to get to, we'll have, like, way more money and stuff. It might tell... I think it tells you at the beginning, like, oh, make food and sell crops and you'll make loads of money. But I'm like... That's usually not the best way to make money in games. Usually it's, like, fishing. I don't actually remember fishing in this game, but I don't remember it being bad. I remember it being quite fun. So I'm going to do that. I just want to get there. But now we got to run around and find plant fiber. Plant fiber. 1. Oh. It keeps making me jump. My rubber bands, I'm like, oh. I keep forgetting. Okay, we have 3. Any more? I don't think there's any more here. Okay, we gotta leave. Go around here and see if there's any. I'm not too sure where it actually spawns. Like, I'm not sure if there's a particular place. I just know it spawns inside of there with the mushrooms and the berries. Okay, I don't actually think there is any out here. Go around everywhere else. Can we put the brightness up? Is that a thing? Yes. We can put up a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. I can see now. It was a little bit too dark. I was like, I know it's 5:30 in game, but like, where are we based? Where's the game based? Are we in the UK? Like, I know they're Australian. I don't know how dark does it get in Australia? Like, how early does it get dark? Because in the UK, it's kind of ridiculous how early it can get dark. But man, kind of crazy. I couldn't see anything. There's no plant fiber anywhere. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to find it. I don't think we get it from smashing anything. It's just from picking up the grass. Also, for reference, if anyone's wondering about graphics or anything, I'm running this on 60 FPS on medium so that I can stream, like, stable. Prior to that, though, I think I had this on unlimited FPS on high settings and it was fine, but I don't trust that with streaming. But yeah, while I'm streaming on perfectly fine, like nothing's wrong with stream, and I'm on 60 FPS with medium settings and it looks perfect. There is nothing wrong with this game on lower settings at all, which is really really good. I think sometimes people get a little bit worried, and like I do too, that if you turn down settings on a game it's gonna look really bad, but it's the complete opposite for this game. This game looks so good no matter how low the settings are, in my opinion. I think on my old PC specs, I actually played this game on, I think, low. So, you know it's a good game when the game looks great, even no matter how low your settings are. However, I cannot find any plant fiber. So this is not good. I'm struggling. Okay. We're just gonna keep walking around until I find some. Because I can't buy anything because I don't have anything to sell. Is there any around here? Oh. I heard the ball. I heard the ball get thrown, but I don't know where it was. Bounced the ball 3 times. I knew I heard it. Where is it? I don't know where it is. Wait, do you sell? Do you sell? Hang on, let's see. Oh. Oh. It's broken, okay. Estelle's shop seems to be not working. Would you sell straw? Okay, so I think the shops are just broken. I'm not too sure why. But for some reason they are not working. I was just gonna see. I know someone sells like materials. I just don't remember who it is. And I can't find the plant fiber. I'm also not running around properly. I keep forgetting I can sprint. I see plant fiber. More plant fiber. Okay, this is a place that spawns it. Oh, it's here. Wait. Can I get up? More. We found more. Huh. I remember any of this. And we don't have a glide yet, so we're still trying to build it. I just want to... How much do we have? I don't want to, like, not have enough. 12. Okay. 13, 14. Let's just go around and see if we have more, because I see some more. Oh. Okay, 16, I think. Oh, and there's berry bushes around here as well. Nice. Okay, I think we might have enough. I'm just gonna pick it up now if I see it. I didn't realize it would be so difficult for me to find it. There's only a couple that spawn in the dome. I think we can go back now. We need 2 more, which only takes a minute, so it's fine. Only takes like... It takes 30 seconds per one, which isn't terrible. I think when you have more stuff to do, it will literally feel like seconds, which is good. But you'll also have the ability to have multiple versions of the same thing. So you can have multiple versions of this, but right now I can only have one. So I need to charge my battery and then do 2 of those. And then we also need to... Wait, how do I fill my watering can again? Anyone have a watering can thing? Oh, you do. Can I use it? Thank you. I don't know who you are and you're probably not here right now, but thank you, Gwendy. Gwendiana. I think that's how I say it. Sorry if I butchered your name. But I stole some water so I could grow my tomatoes. Wait, I don't want to add something. I just want to, like, get rid. There we go. Okay, so you don't click when you click R. If you click R and you click, it adds something, but you can just drag to it and it gets rid of your tool. Okay, these are nearly done, and then we can craft a glider as long as our battery is charged, but it's 5 AM, so I don't know if we're gonna have enough battery, but we'll see. Okay. Charge this. We have 2. We need 5. We need all 5, what do you even call it? Bars? All 5 of the bars charged, and it's gonna take just a couple of seconds. The sun's only just coming in. So we gotta be a little bit patient. I wonder how many of these we can do. Because I think the one thing we have to try and work on is actually expanding the... Oh, what was it even called? There was something where it's like you have to expand like your... Like we have to be like proving that we're even able to do certain things. Like I'm capable of looking after plants. Here, have some more plant pots. Like... So like until I prove them that I can have multiple versions of something, they're not gonna let me have it. They're not gonna let me have it. Okay, now. There we go. Nice. Now we have a glider. Yes. So, sure, Cliff the glider. Okay. I'm coming back, Cliff. Just be in a good mood and we can be friends. Hopefully. Hopefully, because I just want to see him. I just want to see him. He's so cute. Come on. I want to go. I want to go to the hanging gardens. Let me go. Wait, did you feel that? Not again. Oh, that's a big crack. Wow, that was stronger than ever. Is everyone okay? Looks like we're all fine. Can't say the same about the ground though. Ugh. Oh, a crack. That's a bold new design choice. Careful there, little fella. That's not how... Let's not test how deep that goes. This crack is a serious safety hazard. We need to fix it immediately. I'll head out to gather resources and round up some help. Let's split up then. I'll head out to check if everyone is safe across the districts. You with me, kids? Cozy case? I am, apparently. Do you want the good news or the bad news? Bad? We lost touch with the Grid 4 district. But at least everyone in the Hanging Gardens is fine. It's just the crops that are a total mess. Well, there's no questioning it anymore. The instability is hitting everywhere. We need all hands on deck now. How about taking a glider for a first spin and lending a hand at the gardens? I'll be at the air tram station. Yay! Okay. We need to go there, so we're going the wrong way. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear that banging. I have no idea what it is. I apologize. I do not know who is making that noise right now. Okay, it stopped. And it started again. I don't know if my mic picks up on that or not. Wait. Oh, I have to meet him here. Okay. Looks like the tremor messed up the crops over at the Hanging Gardens, and they won't recover on their own, you know. Are you headed over? Sure am. Please step into the air tram and wait for it to start. I'll be right behind you. Someone has to make sure that you actually arrive in one piece. I can do that on my own. I can do that on my own. Okay, the Hanging Gardens. Let's go. Finally. It didn't take too long. It was like about 3 hours, which is not bad actually. It took me a lot longer to get here when I played alpha. Purely through my own fault. Okay. I think we're gonna go see a friend. Where is he? Oh my god. Oh, it looks even better. You kidding? The mushrooms. It's so cute. A cave? Hello? Talk to Cliff. Right, here we are, the Hanging Gardens. I'll assume the trip live up to your expectations, shall we? We might want to talk to Herb so he can give us a rundown of the place. And hey, if you get tired of hiking and want some comfort of your house, the air tram back to Loftia City is always here. I'll be okay. Don't you worry. Herb will take care of me. Refining station. I already know about that. I'll let you travel long distances in mid-air. Press spacebar again to jump to activate the glider. You've reached Hanging Gardens. This grants you additional key that you can use to invite a friend to the beta. I wonder if I'm allowed to give these away. Or if it's only something I can give to people I like know. Let me write that down. Let me write this down so I can ask. Can I give away codes? Okay. If I'm able to give away the codes that are like friend and family codes, I will. But I'm gonna have to see after stream. Because I only really have like one person maybe I could give it to. But I know if like there's people that really, really want to play, I feel like I'd rather give it to people that have been waiting to play. But I'll have to see. A new face. Fresh as a sprig of basil, and who would you be? Look at him. Oh my god. I'm Cozy Kiss. Welcome to the Hanging Gardens, Cozy Kiss. I'm Herb, guardian of gardens and everyone's honorary grandpa. I bet my old rig you'll love it here, and it's your own green paradise. Well, at least it would be if those recent quakes hadn't gone and shaken the oil under our boots. Of course, some kind Loftians rushed in to tidy up. I heard everything standing neat as a prize pumpkin at Harvest Fair now, but I haven't done my official inspection yet. Mind helping these old eyes? Aww. Would you take a peek at the lookout and tell me if the garden beds are still a mess or if the paths are all crooked? I'll guide you through the main spots from here. Just take care not to fall off. Hee oh my god, he's so cute. Okay. Let's see. Where are we going? Going down? Oh, we weren't supposed to go down. We were not supposed to go down. Wait, can I bounce on this? Don't. Can I? No, okay. I was about to say, can I bounce? Can I bounce on the mushrooms? How do I get back up? I don't even remember how to get back up there. I think I remember something about... Maybe I go this way. No, I feel like that's the complete wrong way. I feel like that's the complete wrong way. That's not the right way either. Okay, we're gonna just go in a big circle. Because I do not remember how to get back up there. Maybe it's on the opposite side. Like over there. I just decided to jump off and come this way for some reason. So we need to make our way back over. Oh, look at the flowers. Oh, this reminds me of like Wicked when with the poppy fields. Oh, this is so cute. The mushrooms and everything. Stop. Oh. Okay, how do I get back up? I need to get up here. How do I do that? It's not that way. It's gonna be this way. Maybe I just jump up all these. But I can't jump up there. Oh, wait, I found it. I found it. Somewhere around here. To go back over this way. No! No! No, it's just a constant falling fest. Oh god. Okay, we need to go back around. I came the wrong way again. There's gonna be a lot of this. There's always a lot of this when you're in like a game you haven't played before or like you haven't played in a long time. As much as I have played Loftia before, it's obviously like a long time. When did the alpha test even happen? I don't remember when it happened. It's been so long. I don't remember anything. I remember like plants. I remember the plants in the game, the materials, and the fish. But I don't actually remember how to fish. That's how much I forgot. I think we're up now. I think we're fine. He just wanted us to look at things, not actually go next to it. He just wanted me to look over. And your girl just jumped off. I just jumped straight off as if that was going to do anything. Okay, we're fine. We're back where we started. This is like the poppy field. Hello? Oh my. So pretty. Okay, where did you want me to be? Over here. Alright, don't jump off. Just stand. Okay, there we go. There on the left, we have the floating village. That's where Kasim and his village research fish and the ecosystem balance. He holds all sorts of new tools and tech for Loftians who help him with his research. Straight ahead across the lake is the overgrown beautiful place. Beautiful place, I'll tell you. Though wind as ivy on a rainy week. I know the chef Kuhn likes to source ingredients from the forest there. for his kitchen, but the paths haven't been so welcoming since the earthquake started. Oh, I remember trying to jump on that and falling off so many times. Last but not least, the Windmill Island is Hazel's pride and joy, where she nurtures flowers every shade of her garden. Like, look at these flowers. If you can't find a shop in the city, you'll be sure to find it here. Okay. So now, I go back to Herb. And then what? So everything's in order. That's what you're telling me, huh? Well, now, looks good to hear. Folks have been working their roots off lately. Which reminds me, Arlo and I have whipped up some fresh, organic, healthy snacks for our volunteers. Trouble is, we're a bit short on hand to get them delivered. My joints and I reckon that this is a perfect opportunity for you to explore the gardens. I just did. Just grab the healthy snacks from Arlo at the community farms, then drop them off with Kasim? Is it Kasim? It's double S, so it's not Case. You girl would know. And his crew at the floating village. Okay. Kasim. Find Arlo and take them to Kasim. I can't get over these flowers. They're so pretty. Oh my, oh, music. So cute. Everyone looks so cute. Hello there. Welcome to the community farms. I'm Arlo. If it grows in the soil or reaches for the sun, I'm your guy. Herb sent you, right? The old man doesn't miss a beat. So we have farmer dad jokes in Loftia too. This is where we go food for all of Loftia. You'll be getting your hands dirty soon enough. Now we have bigger priorities. 1 pack of healthy snacks coming right up. Kasim's crew must be starving. They've been working non-stop to recalibrate the ecosystem since the quakes. Okay. Honey. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. What is that? A 9-month sub? That's crazy. Thank you. How are you doing? How have you been these last 2 weeks? I know I haven't been live for a couple of weeks, but I have an explanation. I have an explanation. I'll repeat what I said at the beginning of the stream. Basically, I just kind of came to a decision that I'm not going to have a schedule for now. But we are here, and we will be playing Loftia for the next couple of weeks. And then when Palia comes out, we'll be playing the new Palia update again. So, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just streaming when I feel like it. But rest assured, I will not be leaving. Okay. I thought I'd better give that little update. Kasim. Welcome to the floating village. I'm Kasim, resident biotechnologist. And the biggest fish nerd you'll ever meet. Oh, Herb and Atlas sent you the snack delivery? Just in time. Who were this close to eating the fish? Kidding, we've never eaten them. Quite the opposite, actually. We work day in and day out to keep them thriving. These recent quakes have really muddied the waters. Though. Fish have become a bit restless with all of the instability, and we've been working double time to keep things on track. So thanks for the snacks. Here's this blueprint. This blueprint should help you out. I'll let you upgrade your project station. Yes! Yes. Thank you. Now we need screws and copper scraps. I'm good. Been helping my dad a lot. He had a fall and badly sprained his wrist, so I'm having to do almost everything. I hope he feels better soon. I hope it heals well. That sucks. But I hope everything's okay. Hope everything heals soon. Sprains do suck though. I'm very susceptible to spraining my wrists. I've sprained wrists from typing on my phone before. I hate to admit that, but it has happened. I knew a gem, thanks for delivering these snacks. You see, Kasim handles the science of the ecological balance, while up here we tend the land our own way at the community farms. You've met our... Someone just hit me on the head. Deco, is that you again? Did you get the chance to see people attending to the land there? That is what we call a round of community farming. Community farming helps on the hour every hour. Up to 10 people register to grow as much as they can. We make sure everyone's nutritional needs are met while keeping the land diverse and healthy. The better the group does, the more seeds they earn to grow their own crops with. Why not give it a go? Speak to Arlo when he opens the queue. I'm sure he'd appreciate an extra set of hands. This is one of the community games you can do. And when I played it in alpha, I had no idea what I was doing. Until we played again. And I was like, oh, now I get it. You just basically have to plant when it asks you to plant. In a limited period of time. And the rewards depend on how much you all do. Basically, it's quite simple, but it took me a minute to figure it out. Oh, wait. Are we doing one now? Let's see. Her family put you on community farming duty, huh? Perfect. We've just patched up fields after a quake. So now we're looking to boost our harvest as much as we can. See, this place is kind of special and everything you plant here grows super fast. Same planting, same harvesting as your own farm, just supercharged. So every hour we play a cooperative game where we try to have as many crops as we can to feed all Loftia. Simple game, just keep an eye on what's needed in the basket and what your teammates are doing and you'll be fine. Application's over 5 minutes for the hour. Every hour, just tell me when you're ready to play. I want to play now. 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 Yes. Yay. Okay. So basically you see what's on... Oh, I don't remember where it is. I think it might be these or it's up there and then you basically have to plant it and then take it in and put it in the... I'll kind of try and show you guys what you do. We shall see. Oh, I'm sat on top of someone. And then we'll see. Just know that he's using an excuse to nothing because he keeps saying he needs to get fit. How old is he though? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really bad. I need to get fit. I really feel... I feel very unfit right now. I think when the summer comes around, I feel like I'm more motivated to do things. But right now, I'm just like... Not great. 81. Damn. I mean, I don't know. I think it's difficult. So I can understand where you're coming from. I get it. I get why you'd be annoyed. But hopefully it gets healed soon. It shouldn't take too long, I wouldn't think. I wouldn't think it would take too long. But I don't know. At 81, I'm not sure. Not too sure. Okay, we have 10 seconds. I think ads are about to begin in 2 minutes, but we're going to do this and then I will decide what we're going to do next. So I might not be able to read chat for a minute because I do actually want to do this properly. Let's see. What can I get? Oh, just a bunch of cabbage. Okay, so what do we actually need? We need cabbage. Okay, cool. So you basically come over here and then just plant everything and water them. And then once they've grown, you take them over and put them in the like bin and it just donates it. But a lot of the time people have like their own jobs. So some people are like trying to plant things. Like I'm probably just going to plant because it's a little bit easier to do. You kind of just like go over and like... In fact, can I pick them up? Am I picking them up? I don't think I am. So some people plant, some people water, and some people pick up the crops. And you basically put them in the bin. I don't remember. The bin's up there, I think. Oh, there we go. They're all starting to grow now. But the thing is, it can change very quickly. Look, I just picked them up and now we don't need them. I just picked them up and now we don't even need them. How do I change which ones I have? Okay. Put those in. And then we need potatoes. So can we put potatoes down anywhere? No, but that's fine. We can then water them. And then we can donate them. Kind of a little bit stressful, but it's fun. It's fun at the same time. Okay, I think these ones are about to grow. There we go. Then we need to run up here and put them in. Okay, go back. Wait for those to grow. There we go. Oh, no. That one grew, but the other ones didn't grow. Okay. Need to water these. Oh, I don't need you to tell me. And we could do more potatoes. Do I have anything to take back? No, I don't. I think we need to... Do we need to water these? These ones need water now. These look fine. This is so stressful. It's so funny though, there's just so many people that do it all at the same time. I have nothing to put in yet. Okay, and then water them. Water them. Why don't I have any water? Do I not have any water in my watering can? Oh, I think it's doing it. It just doesn't look like it does. Or is it? Do I have nothing in my watering can? Oh, I didn't have anything in my watering can. What do we need? Okay, we need carrots and stuff. Take these. I don't remember what we get. Last push. What's next? Eggplant. And tomatoes. Both of which are on the screen. Okay. Eggplant. If anyone needs... Yep, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. There we go. And then tomato seeds. I love how everyone's just like scampering all around. This is so funny. Nice. Last 20 seconds. Oh my days. Some people have a lot. I don't think we're actually going to be able to really plant anymore. I think that's it. We don't need that many. We need, what, 66? We need 6? We're done. Okay, what do we get? I don't remember what we get. I did 91, okay. We got a cute top. Wait, what? We've got a new top. Or was it a blueprint for a top? It might be a blueprint. I think we might have gotten a blueprint. Yeah, it's a blueprint. Okay, we need to go and see what that looks like. Everyone just hitting each other. There was a guy where I used to live who's 3 years older than my dad, but he still rides a bike. That's actually crazy though. There was someone that used to live by my granddad and she used to run like insane, like fully, like you would never believe how old she was. It's crazy. You did great. It wasn't that hard, was it? Just keep an eye on what's needed, plant the right crops, and work with your team. You'll be a pro in no time. Now everything you grew today is going straight to feed all of Loftia. And you get some goodies to take back home too. Just talk to whoever you want to go for another round. Sign-ups are always open 5 minutes before the hour. 5 minutes before the hour. See you around. So what do we have now? We got quite a few things from that. We found those earlier. I want to know what this looks like, but I don't know how to make it. I think we're just going to try and find the scraps and the screws. I'm not sure if we can actually get them here. Do we have anything? We don't have any of them right now. What am I looking for them? Product station. How do I find out? I think it's on this. Here. Copper scraps. Oh wait, copper's from here. If I remember right. So I think I need to... Wait. I can go in this water? What? Is this a glitch? I can go in the water. Normally you can't do that, right? I'm gonna like take a screenshot. Just in case like I'm not supposed to be able to do that. But I'm not gonna complain. I am not gonna complain. Okay, let's pick up everything we can find until we run out of space. This might give me copper. There we go. Okay, so that gave me copper. I don't really want to go... Sick. Sick. Just fell to my death. Yeah, cool. Okay, let's try and find the scraps and the screws. And then we can go back home and make the extra project station. And then... What are these? Is there honey in that? Am I going to be able to, like... make honey? Oh. Nice. Screws, nice. Wire. Okay. No scraps, though. But we have half of the screws now, which is good. But where's the copper? Oh, maybe here? No, that gives the normal ones. Okay, we need these. These are the ones we need. Maybe... No. Over this way. Not you. Not you. Okay, where are there any more? I gotta go to like the village areas to find the materials like that. That seems to be like the one place where they spawn. Are you it? No. Maybe there's somewhere around here. Nope. That's not it. I'm gonna learn like where everything is all over again. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Okay, let's just... Oh god. Oh. Yeah. Didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to do that. Oh, we found it though. It's all good. It's all good. Found it in the end. Couple scrap. Okay, so we need screws. So to get screws, we need the normal metal. Which is like the washing machines, I think. I think that's where you find them. Oh, I'm rubber banding again. This way? Maybe? And we go around there and take the path up there. I feel like anywhere that's got like buildings like this is good. Anywhere that has buildings is like the areas, at least in this part of the map, is where you kind of like get all the materials from. At least from what I can remember. These are not what we need. We need the washing machines. I should have hit that washing machine up there. I was like, I don't need that. I need copper. You need both. You need both, not one. Going to head out and deal with work. Have a good day. I hope work treats you well, and I hope you can get a code at some point and play. But have a good day. Thank you for stopping by. Washing machine. Anyone seen a washing machine? So funny. It's like, I understand why the certain items in the game is where you get materials from, but I just find it really funny. All I need is a washing machine. In fact, I just need one that's going to give me 2. Or we could look for those, the baskets. Like the plastic baskets. They seem to give screws if you do them good. But where was that washing machine? There was one. There was definitely one up here, and it could give me 2 screws. Oh. Behind here. Wait, I think while we're picking up things, it's giving me like a level. Like every time I pick up a material, that level moves up. Don't remember that. Maybe that's always been there, but I have no idea. Oh. I don't know what... Oh, we found it. We found the washing machine. Okay, give me 1 screw. Need 1 more. I wonder how the trading actually works. I forgot about that. So we could be like, hey, does anyone have a screw? And someone can just give it to me? Is that like how it works? How do we do that? I wouldn't even know where to look. I'll have a look at that. See what I can find. Oh, if we can get up there, we can get like all the metal. Up scraps. We need screws. Nope. I mean, maybe we... Do we have to go back to the city to actually get back home? I feel like we might. Like, I should probably just go back. But instead I just jump down because I don't want to leave. It's like I don't want to leave. Okay, we'll check over here and then we'll go back maybe. Or not. We could potentially get up here. No. Wishful thinking. Me thinking I could like parkour it. No, that's not gonna happen. What's through here? Oh, we can't get through that yet. Okay, we're having a very hard time finding a screw. I think I just go back. Oh, we can go back though. Okay, that makes me not want to go back to the city then. All I need is 1. They'll probably respawn. Did they respawn in the same place? Maybe they respawn in the exact same place, so there's a very high chance they'll just respawn back where I... Oh! Ooh! Even on old Earth, we've relied on wind power for generations. Old millers understood it. When fuel ran low or supply lines broke, the wind kept turning. Here's old us too. Using it to grind grain so that we can keep baking bread no matter what. The wind doesn't follow schedules, but it is predictable if you plan for it. Build where it flows, maintain your systems, and be patient. The structures may look simple, but they do a critical job. Keeping the community fed without burning resources we can't replace. Reliable, sustainable, worth taking care of. The wind can teach us precious lessons. Ooh, we get little items for picking these up. Nice. Now, if only I could find a washing machine. The washing machine's gonna become the bane of my existence. Washing machine. I know there's someone I can buy things from. And I know I'm gonna have a big collection of things eventually, so it won't even matter, but... I'm just looking for a white washing machine. I just don't know where they spawn. Maybe there's one over there. The one here? Okay, well, let's just hit this in case it gives us one. No. Yeah. Go up here. None there. Is there any on top? I feel like there's some on top of buildings that I just can't get onto without finding like a ridiculous space and like jumping off and gliding. So I think we're just gonna hang around here and see. Is that where it was? Wait. I found it. Nice. Okay. Then we can go straight back to my house. Take a flyby visit. Gonna hop in the shower. Gonna watch for darts tonight. Are you enjoying the game? Ooh, I hope darts is good. I don't really watch anything like that. But enjoying the game. Well, I enjoyed the game the first time around. How many hours have we got? We started on about 29.5 hours and I've got to be on 30.5, I think, at this point. So, yes. I'm going to see if I'm able to give away the codes that I have as, like, because they call them friend codes, but I'm assuming I'm all right to give them away, but I'm going to double check before I do in case I get into trouble. In case I get into trouble or something. First time? I thought it was first time for everyone. I played alpha, so I backed the game on Kickstarter a couple of years back. And I got to play alpha last year for like one weekend. So 2 days of a weekend and another like couple hours of weekend. And I got 30 hours basically in one weekend. So this is my second time playing. But yeah, most people, this is their first time playing. But I got lucky. The grind was real. It's just so fun and relaxing. Like I think I had an assignment due the last time the alpha was as well. So I actually think I sat in Loftia while doing an assignment because I just could not get myself out of the game. That's how like I love this game. It's so nice. It's like an ASMR, not an ASMR. It's like an ambient video, but like an actual game. So you can customize your house and island. You can also do that by talking to HOUS3 in your neighborhood. You'll have access to a few customization options from the start, but you can always get more from his shop. Sounds delightful. Honestly, this game's perfect for it. Personally, I'm obsessed. Oh. This is like one of my top anticipated games of all time. So when... Oh, I need to make another one of these. So when I was able to play the beta, I was just like completely obsessed. I can't put that down yet. I can't put that down yet. Hoping that that's so good. There was a Christmas present for the guy at work. Oh. Mrs. bought to him and told my friend. Wait, so you're actually going to watch the darts like in person? That actually sounds super cool. I thought you were just meaning you were watching on like the TV. I hope you have fun. I hope it's a good night. Ooh, we can do 2 things now. I've got a problem though. There's certain things that we can't do because I have a roadblock. So I'm going to have to do all of that first. See what we can fit in the storage. In person live at a stadium? How many people is it? That sounds like a lot of people. That's crazy. I hope it's fun. Greetings. Bzz. I am HOUS3, your default dutiful assistant for all decor related matters. My shop carries a multitude of items to decorate your house and island with. I can also assist you in giving your house and island a new look with said items. Please keep in mind, I'm still in a beta version, so my options may be limited. Aww. Gonna be a good few thousand at MS Bank Arena in Liverpool. Ooh, I hope it's a good night. I hope it's a good night. Wait, Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Wait. We have so many options. Back Noel Sisters turned up. Don't worry about it. It says capacity is 11k. Wow, I went to a concert a couple of weeks back with 14,000, I think. And it felt like a lot. So that's really cool. That's really cool. I hope it's a good night. You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna put everything this color. And then oh, do I have to pay for this? Would you like to keep the change customization? Keep the changes? Holy. That's cool. We can change this as well? Honestly, I am just going to do that one just because it looks cool. Wait, yes, I remember this. This is what we want. This is what I want. But for the missus though, she bought them on resale site, cost £180 each. The tickets arrived and they said face value should have been 45. Oh my. That is so bad. That's crazy. People reselling things at like quadruple the price or even more than that is just, I can never understand that. I would feel so bad. I have too many morals to do that. My morals are too high. I just couldn't. I'd feel awful. Half decent seats, but they're still outrageous. Yeah, I just bought some tickets for November for a concert and they were kind of insane, but I got the cheapest ones possible. I don't even remember where the seats are, if I'm honest. I think they're pretty good seats, but it's tickets these days for anything in any kind of... Any tickets of any kind for any event in an actual proper venue, they're insane these days. We can expand the size. Oh, we're about to have fun. We are going to have fun with this. This is gonna be insane. The amount of things we can do in this game is crazy. Like, that is the fact that we can expand the island, give the house multiple rooms, change the skin on the outside of the house, decorate the inside. I give it 2 days maximum. So like tomorrow or the day after, and there are already some of the insane builders in the cozy gaming community that are gonna have an insane plot. It's gonna look so cute. Seated at a concert is never good as standing either, but those tickets cost a lot more. Yeah, we got seats because I can't stand for very long, but you know what? To be at the concert, I don't care. Gonna go wiggle on, go catch a train. Have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. I hope the night's good. I do feel like... Let me check something real quick. Let's mute that before I end up hearing myself. Where can we go through to? I'm thinking I could probably do with eating. Because it's 4:30 and I had no idea what time it was. So I almost feel like I should call it a day to some extent. I don't want to call it a day in the sense of like, I won't be playing again. Guys, I am planning on going live tomorrow, probably around the same time. At the latest, I will end about 5 because I do have somewhere to be, but I still want to go live tomorrow. So I'll probably get up and get ready like I did this morning and actually go live as soon as. But we have so much to do. If I continue to play, I will probably just try and do things to make money and stuff just so that we can like get a little bit further through, because there is a lot to get through and I really don't want to spend too much time on the little things. I really want to see what's been added and what we can do because there's a new place and everything, so we have a lot to look at. But I will be live tomorrow. I don't want to say what time. I would say maybe around 1 PM again like we did today. but I don't want to give myself a time I have to be live for, but around midday BST. And we'll be playing Loftia again, obviously, and we'll just go through story further. There's a lot to uncover because I had no idea there were earthquakes. I don't know if that was something I knew or not, but there's a lot of stuff going on. I have no idea why. So we will go through even further tomorrow. I'm gonna see if I'm able to give away these other codes as a giveaway, or if I'm not allowed to do a giveaway for them. So we will see. But if I'm able to give them away, like the other code I had, I will do a giveaway on stream tomorrow. Otherwise, we will see. We will see. We'll see what I can do. But that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow around 1 p.m. BST. If you guys are playing the game, I hope you have a good time. And if not, I hope you get a chance to get a key from someone and you have fun watching or playing. And I will see you guys tomorrow.